What's going on, everybody? CaptainRoBear and crew here for Stormforge episode 20. Happy Wednesday, everybody.
Happy Wednesday. Happy episode 20.
20?
Yeah.
We're growing up fast.
Episode nat 20.
One more year and
right.
we finally finish university and we can get out of Coventry. So sorry to the people of Coventry. I'm so sorry.
I went to Coventry University for a bit when I studied physics, but then I was like, "Ooh, physics is not for me. I'm going to go to a different university and do something else."
I'm an American. I don't get the joke.
A
Good one, guys.
Coventry is you know what? I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. No.
Coventry is, I went there for the first time recently, and there are elements of it that are really nice. So there's this really lovely, like there's the open remains of this massive cathedral that was bombed in the war, and like it's stunning. Like the walls are, it basically looks like Warhammer scenery. It's like these giant Gothic walls that have all blown out and everything. All of that is amazing. The rest of Coventry, everything is closed. It's like all closed shops and
It's like a ghost town.
basically, it's sort of, Anyway, this is a very niche subject matter.
It's just for us three, literally.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Drak and I
Good time.
momentarily
I
bonding
could-
over university trauma. It's fine.
Decimated, not open, and suffering economy. Gentlemen, this is where I'm from. Coventry is not a place. It's an entire region and state of mind, my friends. Someone asked me for a recommendation of where they could watch a sporting event yesterday, because I used to be a man about town and be able to recommend bars and restaurants and whatnot. And I said, well, what I would like you to do is throw a dart and decide to see what is open, and then go from there. It's that bad.
Yeah.
But hey, Long John Silver's in its Dark Syndicate still exists. I haven't seen a customer in its drive-thru. Purely thriving off the hush puppies. Probably 75% corn syrup, 1% flour, 5% oil and hay.
I looked it up. It is so much sugar. It's ridiculous. That's why they're good.
I mean,
My mama also made only sweet cornbread. So it just reminds me of home.
You see, there's the difference, right? Cornbread is a whole other beast. Cornbread is fantastic.
Y'all not have cornbread?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Whew.
Not in the
I don't-
UK.
yeah,
Look, the only reason I know about it because I married an American.
yeah.
Yeah.
You're so good. Everybody, you hear that? Merry Americans.
Cornbread in a real cast iron skillet is an experience. It is truly Americana.
Yeah, Americans will show you some real hearty food.
Yeah.
Jalapeno
Really
hush
will kill
puppies
you.
and jalapeno cornbread are like my favorite things on the planet.
Oh, I love jalapeno cornbread. Have you ever made a cornbread casserole? Those are so good too.
Well, you got
Also,
it if you have the leftovers.
RoBear, we don't sound like most of America. We sound very southern right now. I just realized you got two southerners.
This would make sense. I married a southerner too. For real though, the cast iron skillet bit is so true. Recently, Elle was able to bring a massive cast iron bag that weighs like 4 kilograms from the US, and it's huge, and we can make massive cornbread now. It's great.
Hey, that thing is a family heirloom, yo.
It is.
You treasure that thing.
It
literally came from my grandmother. Yeah.
Oh, it's so good, Ed.
Oof. I
You
mean,
know, you should come to America.
I should. I also
I'll cook.
I love to cook, and this looks like it would make a fine addition. Oh my goodness, look at that. Okay,
Make it one
It's
time.
fine. Just come around to my place. Elle will make cornbread. We will make chili, and it will be fantastic.
So I have this last month forced myself off of any starter packs for my jambalaya. So I'm going purely from scratch. So I've been I've never made all organic jambalaya until this week. I'll
It's the best. That's why I make my gumbo.
I can never go back. I've never done it where I've done all the Holy Trinity is organic vegetables, anything I can get from the farmer's market. Oh my God. It just pops in a different way. I don't even know how to describe, like, it has flavors of like chicken and dressing in it that you don't get. Like the celery hits even harder. Oh.
Did you do did you do a roux? Did you stand there for 20 minutes slowly stirring your flour into your oil and not letting it stop for a second because it'll burn?
Done it plenty of times.
I hate making roux, but my gumbo slaps.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only way. That's the way you're making gumbo. And that's one of the reasons why I don't make gumbo.
We're watching y'all. You lazy. Come on. Do the 20 minutes.
I don't make my gumbo very often, or if I do, I will cheat and I'll go get a starter roux.
I'm disappointed. I've actually got to quit this campaign. Actually, you know what? It's fine. You're not a Louisianian. That'd be different.
No. I am just from the upper Mississippi River Delta. I'm still from the Purchase. My town is Gerardo. Don't throw this hate at me.
My town was called Elm Grove. Literally tree. Lived on 7 acres of poultry farm.
Not just tree, but place with tree.
I just had a flashback of us being in a reality TV show competition of who could catch more mud bugs. In my mind, that would happen. Who can prove themselves more Mississippi Delta poverty wise? The mud bug off.
Mud bug madness in Shreveport?
No. Mudbug madness for me was when the Mississippi River overflowed and we go into the fields and set jugs out.
That's why we had mudbug madness after rainy season.
So on a scale of like, so sort of gumbo and talking about gumbo, it's sort of like very southern. Now, like mudbug madness is the kind of thing where
that's in Louisiana where I'm from. It's a festival, an annual festival where after the rain has really done its thing and people go get all their mud bugs, they can sell them to a market, and then we have an entire like town festival called Mudbug Madness where they make tons of crawfish dishes and boils and all the good things. I love where I grew up. Woo. So we're like the one part of Louisiana that's okay.
So a mud bug, I'm assuming it's
a crawfish.
Crawfish. Right, okay, right. Okay, cool.
The crayfish.
Mud Daddy,
Mud Daddy.
crawfish.
So when it floods, like they'll make these insane nests, and that's where you get like these huge mud bugs, and like you can get them like almost the size of shrimp at that point.
Yeah. Hurricanes are great. I don't mean that, but it's great for the mud bugs.
For real though.
We had great mud bugs after Hurricane Katrina and Rita hit us within 2 weeks. But I had no power. I felt like a mud bug.
It's great real estate for someone, I guess.
Oh man, I just want to see everybody when we're all eating them on the back, like some people sucking heads and breaking tails and like there's nothing.
Suck the head. That one. Wait, that's in it.
That's fine because I can. I'm alright.
Of a crawfish, I cannot. Of a crawfish.
In a video game.
Mud Daddy.
Don't worry, Sam. Leave it to me. I guess.
What a perfect segue. Who's got great announcements that they want to let the community know about?
I'll go first, you jerks. I feel like Becca. Where's Becca? This is her thing.
Not anymore. Now it's your thing.
I suppose so. Anyway, I'm doing cool things that you should know about. Like, I just launched my show that I have been doing with Twitch called From Dusk to Door, where I go into creators' closets and infiltrate and get to dig through their clothes and take my lint roller to them. And it brings me a lot of satisfaction. I love that. Anyway, that airs whenever I can air it, but it's going to be airing throughout October as well as November on my channel, twitch.tv/Seum, and I can help show people how to dress the wardrobe they already own, you know, to help lessen that fashion carbon footprint. And then also on Tuesdays we have Eden Falls. We just reached the halfway point. It is a charity TTRPG for Wounded Warrior Project, and this is season 2. You do not have to have watched season 1, but there's just Easter eggs. But season 2 is great, and that is going on until Halloween. So Tuesdays up until Halloween, that will be our finale. 1 p.m. PT, 4 p.m. Eastern. I'm done.
Let's go.
Well, I have some stuff. When I'm not sucking heads,
sometimes when I am,
that's on a different site though.
Drak, out of all of us here, we know you can multitask, so it's...
Hey, I got two hands and anyway.
Whole new kind of multi-stream there. Goodness gracious.
Yes,
You can't shadow ban unless we say bad words!
Y'all, my husband listens to this on the way to work the next day.
yes, Drak takes strong hand. Yes.
Eric,
Oh my
feel free to
God.
text me at this moment and tell me how disappointed you are.
Dry Green Dream.
Goodness.
I'm in a variety of cool stuff, either on camera or behind it. First thing I'll shout is that I'm going to be on My First Dungeon. That's a TTRPG podcast where they play a bunch of games for the first time so that it can give you tips and tricks and advice after experiencing it for the first time if you want to give it a go. And I'm going to be in a campaign sponsored by Soul Muppet Games, which is producing a Alter Blues, well, they already produced Alter Blues game, and that's like a very Cowboy Bebop, sad space cowboy vibe. It's going to be coming out on October 10th. On My First Dungeon, very excited for my character. I told the GM my character idea, and they're like, "You pick things really hard to work with, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's gonna be difficult, but we'll figure it out." But yeah, my character's name is Blank. That's his name, and you get to learn about them a bit more when you watch. When you listen. As well. Also Beyond the Brook, we're going to be recording more episodes of Beyond the Brook. We're actually recording one to this week, I believe, on Friday. So just keep an eye out for that. That's going to be coming out in November over on Stella Luna's channel. That's Stella Luna on Twitch, Stella Luna Stella Luna TV on Twitter, and I think on all our social media platforms as well. Where you'll get to see Ed's incredible jamming skills and my hopefully incredible editing skills. We'll
So
see.
good.
But yeah, keep an eye out for that. It's going to be an Over the Garden Wall inspired actual play with a lot of elements from a bunch of different, very fun, surreal, and honestly pretty eerie if it has any 0.5, session 0.5 has anything to do with it. Points of reference and views. And if anyone got to meet me at Big Bad Con, hi, thanks for hanging out. The panel I did there on helping fund actual play is we're gonna make the resources available online for anyone who couldn't make it. So just keep an eye out on Hamna's Twitter account. That's Lilith TTRPG on Twitter, or Stella Luna's account on Twitter, Stella Luna TV on Twitter, or my account on Twitter, Draconics on Twitter, and we'll post the links and QR codes and everything for that, so everyone can enjoy and benefit from the little things we've learned from lots of trial and error in the industry.
A lot of knowledge there.
Yeah, and I think that's pretty much it. Yeah.
It also GM's Eden Falls, I forgot to say.
Yes.
Chaos. He's a DM for the ages. Come on, watch him.
Yeah, grab it while you can.
And I also am GMing next Monday. You can find both myself and Sam as the player over on the RP Geeks channel. It'll also be available in podcast form, but we are doing a two-part game of Good Society, but set instead in the outer limits of the Austin Nebula in space. It's tremendous fun, it's very scandalous, and it's been fantastic. We have an incredible cast, including Emily Bates and Sharmini Bundell from RP Geeks, Sam, of course, and Liv Kennedy from Three Black Halflings. It's a hell of a time, and yeah, you should come and check it out. And you will also be able to find myself and Drak at the end of the month on the 28th of October at MCM Comic Con in London as part of the UK Rising TTRPG Stars panel hosted by Dicebreaker. It is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be playing Sexy Battle Wizards, the system by Grant Howard, which is a lot of fun, very, very sexy, and yeah, you should come and check it out.
Let's go. So, I did see there was a good conversation going on about more folks inside this space thinking about going nonprofit. And I love hearing people talking about the business avenues, since you essentially are running the books like a community theater. there are a lot of opportunities out there where it could make a lot more sense.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's
Stella had that. Someone mentioned that to Stella, and it fully, like, I was there to witness it. I saw their mind expand when that concept was brought to them. They were like, "Oh my god, that makes so much sense." So I know that might be a thing Stella is going to be looking into, because you're right. We're essentially working as one anyway.
Yeah, you're essentially. You're overtaxing yourself as an independent theater, hoping you break a threshold that you may never actually break, and you could actually be using that money and allocating it in a better way. But it's all about looking at it of like, okay, where do we come in at?
Yeah.
But boy, it'd be sure
a great
nice
thing
not.
for Warbnell to answer Ernest. He's like the tax professional in the industry. Yeah. I'd be curious to see what he says.
If we all end up becoming nonprofits, I pledge to be the money preacher of all nonprofits. I want to be the Joel Osteen of TTRPG, and I'm only going to preach money games. Everyone will have infinite wealth and can manifest their most richest life. All you have to do is pull from the deck of many things. Blessings be.
Blessings or curses. Maybe curses. Who knows?
Well, life is full
Stop,
of good
it's
and the bad.
False flashbacks right now.
Anybody else with announcements out there? Ooh, I'm hearing myself on Sam Street.
Yeah.
Oh, it's me.
I think the only thing I will shout out, I don't have a date, so I guess it's like an announcement of the announcement. But a campaign's gonna be coming on Celestina's channel soon. That only ran me because you mentioned cards, and one of my character is heavily based on a tarot deck. That's how it came to mind. But so keep an eye out for that. It's gonna be very fun, very anime. Like, I think this might be the most anime show I've been on, save for I think on a straight up My Hero Academia actual play at some point. But other than that, this is gonna be a very anime and probably the most anime actual play I've been a part of. But it's gonna be a lot of fun, and gonna be very cathartic, I think, for a few people. We're all playing very fun characters who I think will be very relatable for a few. So keep an eye out for that as well.
And
nothing on my end. I'm just basking in the glory of all these other people.
Now that it's over, I can finally reveal why we were so tight-lipped about what was going on over the weekend, and there was no Gladleron. We surprised our friend Tim from Marrowstrand by showing up at his apartment on his 40th birthday to play D&D in his home. So it was fantastic. We played an offline episode, and we teased everybody and sent it out like it was a live episode and said offline at the bottom, we're horrible people. There's a lot of ravenous mini clips from that, which are fantastic. His partner made cranberry and vodka health potions for us in the actual health pots. So yeah, we had a good time with them. And I finally crit on the heal spell for the first time. So I was able to give heal to everyone in the party. Bread and barley stuff, just be it a god. No big deal. It's fantastic, but there is canon to the story that we're gonna have to reveal. We've gotten some good stuff that hasn't been touched since the end of Tormund's quest, so you can see all the art. It'll go up. Our friend Ben over at MetaWorks got all the art done for us, and we just got the last piece today, so I can't wait to show everybody. Ooh. It's fantastic. But our COVID characters are finally brought to life now as gods. We need to pick up where we left off. Last week, after epic heroics from everyone involved inside the party, one Myshkin literally pulling himself from the jaws of a machine, gaining information about a collaboration between the Silent Gear and the Vosh Borg somewhere in a clock tower in city center. Chrysanthemum being able to literally place the crashing recycling factory wherever they wished, averting all disaster. Somehow, Kallisto and Loluphia are reunited once again. Myshkin, a little bit more machine than man from the last time we were here. However, fending off most of that conversion, only a small pixel left in his eye and some strange mechanical claws that he can control and withdraw. Faroük and Kaivar just happy to be heading back to the Amber Forge to get a bite to eat. After a lengthy interrogation, passing with flying colors, the city guard has made their peace, talking to both Loluphia and Kallisto. As you gave them, there's the nothing to see here. We can pick up wherever all would like in the evening, back at the Amber Forge.
How late were Lolly and Kallisto away from everybody?
Probably 30 minutes. It wasn't a lengthy conversation, that's for sure. They certainly didn't want any of the details of what transpired in the night, because it's actually early morning right now, because we battled all through the night.
Oh, so we haven't slept.
No, we haven't slept.
Yeah.
We can totally pick up later in the evening after a good old-fashioned long rest.
I feel like
Do we day nap?
if it's anywhere close to the morning, Kaivar's definitely going to waddle through and just see what sense from the Amber Forge kitchen greet his nose.
Oh.
We're still picking up on you,
I can hear
Sam.
myself. Yeah. God, what would I can't remember. Think of what they would cook. This is in the afternoon, right? Or morning? What
We
time are
are
we picking up?
you're 30 minutes after the sun came up.
Oh damn! So they're probably still asleep. Like they're honestly probably still asleep. I think V is definitely asleep. Ifrit, I'd imagine, like as we walk in, is heading up to bed. Probably they've been up a little bit later than usual, working on some last minute or last finishing touches on some commissions for armor or weaponry that they've been given. So I think like as the door opens, you'd see the back of Ifrit heading up the stairs, but they would pause and poke their head out around the corner to see who's walking in. Kaivar? Everyone, what are you doing out? So, come in. They'll just gesture for all of you to come in.
Like, quietly scampers in after a little kind of buggy wave. Just making room for everybody else.
Faroük is going to turn back to Myshkin. I know you in particular asked me if I had any room for you this evening, and I do. But I think it would be advantageous for us to catch a rest before we went any farther to the upper city.
Myshkin glances first at Kallisto and then back at Faroük and... If I am welcome.
Does Kallisto hear this, or is this specifically to Faroük?
I don't know if you're, because we would be in front.
Yeah, Loluphia.
Yeah, this is a very awkward.
True, actually,
This is such an awkward moment.
In which case, this will be directed at Ifrit, as Myshkin just nods in their direction.
Ifrit will look so confused, like you just asked her the most idiotic question. And they're like, yes, you're welcome. Come inside, and just grab you by your part of your clothing and pull you in.
Oh, right, thank you. And he heads to what was once a fairly usual spot near the, I'm assuming, now dimming embers of the forge as the last remnants of warmth emanate off it, and still with the brown sort of cloak wrapped around him, he just sits down to one side and just watches everyone who enters.
I would imagine that Ifrit would see this scene of us coming back in after like an absolute banger. Like everyone is like slow lipping, like we have to look awful. Like Farouk's gonna fall asleep immediately, like half trying to eat a cheese stick with like a blanket in the corner. Like he's not even up for conversation. He's exhausted.
Yeah. No, I think almost immediately they'll see Myshkin walking over to their usual spot near the forge, wrapped up in their cloak, and we'll spark up the forge again. Definitely not as hot as it needs to be to like actually forge the metal, but enough to keep people warm if they need to. The day before, we were literally just partying, right? We're eating together. So I think they'll bring out any leftovers as well. Just set them out, like quickly warm them up and set them out for people to snack on until they do let sleep claim them. But yes, no, I think if you would go to Kaiva, purely because V is absolutely adores Kaiva and just goes, we're going to bed, but if there's anything else you need, feel free to raid the pantry and the cupboards and everything. Just let us know what you take so we can restock later.
That Kaivar takes a quick look around, just about notices his blanket where it was, and then just sort of like nods thankfully, but clearly is completely fine. Has all the bits and pieces he needs. His crate is still there. It's fine.
Hey, you all look a bit worse for wear. I can probably help a little bit with that, but some of that you might just need to sleep off. Anyone in dire needs of aid? Oh, Farouk is asleep. I think Farouk is fine. Myshkin, Kaiva?
Nothing that a little rest won't cure, but thank you, Ifrit. Truly.
It's my pleasure.
Sweet Rose. Freshly iced Sweet Rose.
I think I'm going to prepare a meal for Farouk when he wakes up.
This one, Kaiva can help find Sweet Roll. Yes.
Yes. No, yes. We should have some left over, so definitely leave that out for Farouk to wake up to. I imagine just bringing it out might wake Farouk up.
So I'm going to make a bold call for the universe, but since we're in a steampunk area, I really want us to have canned biscuits. Like,
oh, 100%. Yeah. Yeah. No, 100%.
Okay.
Canned cinnamon rolls and biscuits.
Orange
I've got to
rolls,
ask,
canned orange rolls.
When you say canned, do you mean as in you grab something roughly the size of this and you whack it and then it just poops out?
Yes.
Yeah, and it like explodes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. We're on the same page. Hi, things I didn't know existed until I dated an American.
They're the flashbangs of breakfast, my friend.
They are.
Breakfast.
We just have great health.
So much difficulty envisioning.
It's hard to imagine. Yeah.
I imagine like one of those confetti.
Okay, I'll get biscuits and pop the can on the screen for you.
Do it. Yes, please.
It is the most Pavlov's dog of American breakfast noises.
Pavlov's dog.
Sam, we can hear everything on your stream.
Why? I keep turning echo cancellation on. Quit talking. The video will come through. Discord.
Yeah. It was roughly the same reaction I had of my first time ever breaking open a Pillsbury dough thing and like
Oh,
cracking it on
yeah.
the side of a counter.
Yes.
And then waiting for my 2 Chicago friends who were both laughing at the 18-year-old British kid who's sitting there and being like, you have no idea who's going to do that, did you? Oh, you silly English people. You probably still
It's
have
almost
bread
scary.
from a mill.
Mill. Yeah, we go to a local mill and get our bread. What do you mean? That's
They
what we
laughed
do.
at me when I said I go shopping at Morrison's.
Oh, I have a Morrison's so close by.
Me too.
No one
Yeah.
believes me
What
in
is that?
America when I sit there and say we have a supermarket called Sainsbury's.
Sainsbury's is so fucking expensive. Is it just me,
It
or
is
is it
really
going really expensive?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like it's up there now. Like to name shit.
Ed, where did you take me?
Lidl.
Lidl.
Yes.
Lidl's the way to go. Lidl and
quality.
Aldi.
It's the
Quality.
only
Where I got my
affordable
first Galaxy
supermarket.
chocolate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh no,
that's the place to
that
go.
was Sainsbury's actually.
Oh,
Was it?
damn.
Yeah.
Was it the same night?
Ed taking you
No,
to an
no, 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 no,
expensive
no, no.
place.
It's the only one near me. Our area
Oh.
super gentrified.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, you
all,
can
it's
tell
all
how gentrified the place.
students and old people. That's all it is.
Yeah, you can tell how gentrified the place is by the supermarkets. If you have a Sainsbury's nearby, it's gentrified as fuck at this point.
Yeah.
Tesco
It's
and
next-
Morrison's a little bit
I'll-
less.
It's next to a
fetch my,
florist. That's
Oh,
Fetch my
yeah.
monocle as I go into Waitrose.
Oh my god, Waitrose? Am I in a game with the 1%?
Yeah, like at Trader Joe's.
so, RoBear, if you look at your analytics for this bit, you will see the drop off almost
Oh, God.
immediately as the 3 British people are like, anyway, let's rank the different supermarkets that we have here.
I wish I had a recording of the cabbie that picked me up from Sainsbury after I had gotten literally bought half the alcohol
word.
aisle.
Oh god.
And I'd been in the grocery store then for probably about 2 hours just talking to people because I love going in to grocery stores that are not my own and looking at like, look at how weirdly they package this. And what is this?
Would you like a mini cheddar?
Meanwhile, you were walking around after you'd gotten off the flight the same day, I imagine, still in your captain's hat, and everyone's looking around, and you're like, "Oh, how weirdly they packaged this to me!" Like, how interesting. Wait, has the sea finally come here?
Well, he must be respectful. He's clearly a member of the Navy.
We must have a conversation with the Commodore.
Here, let me fetch you a can of Pringles, my dear.
He walks up to the fish aisle, and they stand at attention, give him a salute.
Inspection.
Loluphia and Kallisto walk in on everybody doing these weird accents and bits.
Oh
Yes,
god.
reel us in.
Yeah.
Like kid.
God.
Sorry.
Yeah, Myshkin is, while nestling near to the forge, is purposefully trying not to fall asleep until Loluphia and Kallisto come back.
I don't imagine we're not too far behind, right? What, like 20?
Yeah, about half an hour.
Probably minutes. Yeah, 20, 30 minutes.
Probably about the same amount of time it took for everybody to finally settle down.
Yeah, because we had that discussion with the guard, and also we wanted to debrief. You talked to the folks at the warden's office, right? Or at least gave it a report at the warden's office.
Yeah, we went to go turn in the ship, talk to Warden Peoples, and then guard. Which troops were they a part of, or Sky something? No, they weren't Sky.
Owen Rivenmar, captain of the City Guard Cavalier Patrol.
City Guard.
City guard, that's it. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
30 minutes.
And then we just left after that.
Yeah. I think Kallisto's honestly quiet the whole walk there. I think Loluphia knows it's not like he's upset quiet. I think he notices like he has no spoons left. Like he just needs I think he's very much he's an outgoing introvert. I think he can communicate and be very outgoing, but when he has no energy left, he just needs some quiet and alone time to recharge. So I think it definitely is kind of a quiet walk.
Yeah, she would very much respect that and know
Yeah.
what you're thinking. So, but approaching eventually they're home. There's no movement on the inside for them, right? Does it look like there's any activity?
I'm not moving.
You know, I imagine
You were out
Kaiba
before
and-
the dead, baby.
Yeah, I think Kaiba and Farouk are definitely asleep. I think we probably see the flicker of the forge still on. Because Ifrit would have put that up again to keep people warm. Myshkin, would
old
we see any
space heater.
movement, or would you... Yeah.
No, Myshkin is sat there, and his eyes are closed, but he's just sat and listening.
Loluphia would walk ahead of Kallisto just to reach out and open the door, expecting it to be unlocked, which it was. None of you locked it? Burglars, y'all. God.
Truly, I think
Has
the last
door to
person
the
to...
Ember Forge ever been locked?
Yeah, I
Just
truly,
locked
truly,
it
I
up.
think the last person who tried to rob the Amber Forge left in more than one piece. Like, I generally think, like, Ifrit has that kind of reputation, at least in this area, where no one fucks with Ifrit.
I love her. Yeah, she would enter in. Are all lights out? Just the Amber Forge, a little bit of glimmer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
I wanna
7
see if I
a.m.
see Myshkin. Like little embers lighting up your face occasionally. Very movie scene. No, she's looking around at everybody else, probably leading her eyes in the direction that she hears this snoring from Farouk. And then realizing she needs to watch her step and looks back up at Kallisto. Don't step on them. And she's stepping very precariously around.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I forgot about that. And yeah, Kallisto will very wearily close the door, and I think we'll lock it behind him. Less for the sake of the Ember Forge and more for the sake of anyone who's idiotic enough to try and break in. And we'll start, like, very carefully stepping over people to head to the back and up the stairs to the room.
Yeah, she would also be going toward the staircase, tiptoeing. Did Myshkin
Myshkin.
not want to talk to them or anything?
No, Myshkin
Oh, okay, okay.
just wanted to make sure that they both got back okay.
An angle.
I'm gonna roll something real quick. Okay, yeah.
I stick by it. Lolly went upstairs. Have fun.
Kallisto is stepping over, like, Farouk and has, like, shimmied by the crates that Kaiba is sleeping in. I think taking note of the blanket that they're using, and is about to head upstairs, but I think we'll catch in the corner of the eye, see the glints of the fire of the forge reflecting in your eyes, Myshkin. And they will turn just very slightly to look at you. And I think we'll just give a slight nod. Nothing, there's not much communicated in it, just a, I guess you'd get the vibe of him being, you're welcome in the house for now. I guess you'd
Myshkin
feel.
nods back and just pulls the brown cloak around himself and closes his eyes.
And Kallisto will continue up the stairs. And I think upon entering their bedroom, 'cause I'm just realizing Kallisto's basically shirtless at this point because of the way his arm had, the fire had burned off most of his clothing.
Your clothes.
Most of his top, yeah.
Can we
So-
get some fan art, please?
But yeah, I think at this point the magma flow of his arm it's still pretty intense. I think it's the worst it's ever been, but it's still far less than it was in combat when he was just letting it flow. And he sits on the edge of the bed and looks over to Loluphia.
You would actually see her probably sitting on the floor, trying to piece back together bits of her cloak and clean it and get it back to the white that she usually has it as. And she's dealt with this before. It just takes a bit of time. And because of how much worse your arm is, there's like a light that's illuminating. So she doesn't even need to look at you to know where you are, because she can just see where that light is. And while she's like scrubbing a spot, it's just, you hear just mainly like grunts of frustration that it even looks like this, before she stops and pauses and, well, how are you going to sleep with it? And she looks up at you.
I think he'll actually take a seat opposite you on the ground as well, on the floor. And he just kind of shakes his head. I'll be honest, I really don't know. It's getting pretty bad.
Yeah, it is.
And I'll be honest, I don't know if I'm going to do much sleeping at all. I can already feel the adrenaline wearing off. And I'm feeling every break in it right now. So that's going to be interesting.
RoBear, could I have Lolly try? So it's not that it's something she can heal, but try to alleviate pain with her healing in some way, kind of like taking a medicine, because she doesn't have the magic that the doctor did to help conceal things.
Yeah, so you want to try to use heal to make this thing capable, like, so you can get some sleep through the night.
Yeah, just something general, but...
And since you're going to reset your spells here in a second, you don't need to worry about dropping the cast on it. But I will have you roll that nat 20, because...
Ooh, that could be nice.
Yeah.
Hey,
Oh
20s and
my
1s, baby!
God.
Let's
No
go!
fucking way. First roll of the game.
It is episode 20!
Episode 25 and 20.
The prophecy! The prophecy!
I even saw the 20 and didn't believe it was a 20 because I used to
Me
have the
too, I was like,
anvil.
No way.
Amazing.
So, RoBear, how's this changing?
Yeah, I love your face right now, RoBear. What do we get?
Loluphia, describe how you channel and fix his wound permanently. What's different?
Sitting across from him and finally looking up at him and just seeing her partner, the person that she has loved the most and that has been there for her the most, just in such a state that is complete opposite of what he has been. And it just builds this pit in her stomach that almost feels like a darkness, because it hurts her to see this. And so with that, you just see her silently place down the cloak and the tools she was utilizing and push away any of the liquids that were around, and just stand up and come over to you. And then she would sit down right next to your arm, a little bit a ways for that first moment. And then she would look up at you and raise her hands and, may I?
Yeah.
And with your approval, she then just closes her eyes and just begins to force this energy through any thoughts of love and of romance and of happiness that the two of us have had together, and how much this needs to happen not just for you, but for her. And so it's almost that selfishness of that darkness of the pit in her stomach, but rising up to meet that light in her heart, of these two moments of conflict and not understanding what she's done before to save your life and why she can't do it now. And so with that energy, you could probably see like a mist almost fading as quickly as you see it coming out from her forearms and down to her wrists as it gets more opaque and it thickens into these beautiful clouds that are also a little bit transparent as they get to her fingers, and through her fingers, encapsulating the rings around them, and just taking a moment to let that air breathe as it builds one last time before detaching from where they lay on her hands to then going around the lava almost at the same speed as lava does. And it looks as if the clouds are turning into that lava itself. But then suddenly you see these sparks as it's going up your entire arm, all the way to your shoulder, and then completely down to where your hands are. And those sparks start tying in with one another, and they darken each spot they touch, turning it into rock. And this rock is black, but it has just shimmers of almost these veins of where this lightning had hit and where it had then began to mold everything together like a molten rock. And Loluphia, after just this moment, she lifts her hands away from you and, did I do that? Pointing down.
I think you did. Kallisto starts to clench and flex.
Are you in pain?
No.
She's looking at her hands, just turning them over, not seeing a difference.
I'll be honest, I'm not entirely sure what you just did, but it worked.
Does it feel like it's going to break?
No. I'll be honest, I don't know what it feels like. It feels better. Like before it got worse, before even that, I think.
Does it feel healed?
I will be quite honest, I don't know if I can say. It's been a while since I've even known what that feels like, but it is a lot better.
And that's all I could ask, she says, then reaching down her hand to interlock hers with your new molten rock hand. Haven't been able to do this for a minute, and it's nice.
He's very hesitant at first, but seeing you not flinch, not pull your hand back from the heat, he also interlocked his fingers with yours. Oh, I'm so tired.
Let's get you to bed. And she, hesitating, even though she's got one hand already touching this new form, she lifts her other hand to touch the bottom part of your arm to help you stand. And it's just a weird sensation for her, almost like feeling velvet backwards for a minute and not knowing where that comfort is, but then also knowing that this is still you.
I think the entire time he's kind of staring at his arm and then back at Loluphia. And this is a above game question for Drak. Do you use divine magic, right? Or is it arcane?
Yes. Yes.
Yes to both. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So I think he's looking back and forth between his arm and Loluphia, and he's trying to figure out if he's healed. I think it's definitely a case of it's been so long that he's not entirely sure what that exactly feels like. He definitely doesn't feel the pain anymore, but he doesn't know if that's going to be a temporary thing or a permanent thing. So I think he's going, as he gets undressed and changed into his pajamas, he's just trying to move his hand in every possible way, like as if he's looking for that ache, that pain.
Fortitude save, Kallisto.
Fortitude.
Wally would be watching your every move.
Uh, 17.
17. There's still this strong pulse that comes from your arm. You can feel it like an infernal engine, and it's still warm to the touch, as you can feel your conflicting Suli ancestries trying to maintain the temperature in your arm. But there comes a time you can feel it, and it begins to get hotter and hotter, and you fear the worst. That maybe this was only fledgling and temporary. But it's different. This time, you feel like you have control of it. You need to release this energy from your arm, but you feel like you can direct it.
I think as I am flexing my arm, trying to feel every fiber of it to just see if I can find somewhere where the ache returns, and I start to feel this heat building. I think Loluphia's noticed my eyes widen, and I think in a panic that they quickly realize isn't necessary, but I think in a panic they move quickly before they really think. They, I think, will stick their arm out of a window, just fling it open and stick it out, and I would like to release that heat.
As you're doing this, even before you stick it out, but you're like opening the window, what are you doing?
They don't even say anything, just very frantically. You see their hands like fumble with the latch before they finally get open and swing the window open and stick their arm out. And yeah, I'll turn the valve, I'll release that heat, that pressure from my hand.
Describe what it looks like as you send this steam weapon from the palm of your hand as those ancestries swirl and create this 15-foot cone of steam that you release.
So Kallisto just naturally has very faint glowing veins of about like slight purplish white, but they turn into a deep kind of magma red when they near his arm, his left arm. But I think you see all of his veins, including the ones on the side of his body, very much not associated with the fire and the heat of Ifrit ? And they all glow a deep red, and then quickly followed by a deep blue. And very suddenly, the rock, the magma and molten rock on his arm, his left arm, cracks, and you can see those veins between the cracks as well. And from the palm of his hand, magma and water seems to coalesce almost in an instant and then immediately erupt into steam as it pours out in that cone out the window. Even I think from our distance, from how far away we are, we can still feel the heat of the steam.
This terrifies Lolly. By the way, she doesn't know if she's doing this.
Even Kallisto is terrified as well. I don't think he expected steam to come out. So I think that's what terrified him. I think he expected magma or lava or even just fire, like what normally happens. But you see instead steam, and he's staring out at the window. You can feel the heat blasting in our faces, even with the distance we have. And then after a few seconds, I think honestly maybe like 5 to 10 seconds of that, it dies down and the veins return to his normal purplish white glow, and the cracked magma of his arm seems to very quickly and very naturally heal over again. So there's the almost obsidian with just a few fractals arm again, and he looks down at his hand and then over to Loluphia.
She just stares back, wide-eyed.
I will be honest, that was not what I expected.
What happened? And she's stepping closer.
I felt a build-up of heat in my arm, and I just thought it was going to happen again. What usually happens, the flames and the lava, but I think my body tried to counter it. And then that happened. I'll be honest, steam is a lot easier to work with, so I'm not complaining.
All right. She doesn't know how to react or respond at this point. There's a lot going on very quickly.
Yeah.
And so she just, looking from your arm up to you, we should go to bed. Let's get you some sleep while you can.
Yes. Yeah, no, that's a good idea. Yeah.
And she turns and she just kind of moves over the stuff that she was working with and just gets into bed. Nothing else is as concerning.
And I think Kallisto will join her in bed. And I think he'll wait until if she falls asleep.
You can perceive to see if she does.
Okay.
Because in my head canon, she's trying to stay awake and just wait for you.
Oh, we're waiting for each other? No, you hang up. No, you. Oh my god. I'm like, oh, cool. She's out like a light. She's dead asleep. That's great.
Is she dead, actually? Oh, no.
Oh, no. Okay, I think then in that case, thinking that she's asleep, I don't think Kallisto gets much sleep, at least not in the first few hours. And did you say that Loluphia's cloak was just like messy, or were there tears in it, or
both? She was really injured in that cloak.
Yeah. So I think Kallisto, as quietly as he can, thinking that Loluphia's asleep, he would, I think, probably take a seat near one of the bedside tables or something. And I think now that he has the ability to use his arm without burning everything, we'll try to start mending Loluphia's cloak.
Hearing this for so long, her breathing so slow that it seems as though she's at her most relaxed state. But it's just because of hearing this in the background, knowing what it is, and it's like a lullaby in the most unmusical way. And she just waits for you to eventually come to bed, before then making sure you are asleep. And then rolling over and kind of getting her head close to your shoulder, just nuzzling right in the nook that she always does. Falls asleep.
Yeah. After he's sown what he can, he will definitely snuggle up and go to sleep as well.
I mean, I'm gonna roll a nat 20 if I can smell biscuits. But I mean, I don't think I could.
Oh,
15's good.
No, I am out cold. I miss all the theatrics. Anyone else light sleeping?
I will roll a fortitude. Kaivar is not woken up by the low rumble created by Farouk's snoring.
Myshkin is naturally a fairly light sleeper. Always on alert. Always waiting, listening, watching. It has been the nature of his life before coming to Stormforge. And he is going to, whether this individual is the first person to come down the stairs or not, Myshkin is wanting to see Ziva. Not necessarily to talk to, but just wants to see how Ziva's getting on.
is it a school night? Is it school day?
Flip a coin on that. I got a clue.
Yeah, flip a coin.
Okay.
Tails,
Tails for what?
Kaziva.
Is it tails for school or tails for no school?
Tails for
yeah.
no school,
Okay.
because then it's less trouble.
I have no idea. How do I flip a coin? Hold on.
/R space 1DC.
BC. There we go.
Womp womp. School day.
Oh, it's school days. That's a heads. Okay, yeah. It's a school day, so I think actually I'll leave it up to Loluphia, to you, Sam, if you think you would be waking up Ziva. But I feel like for ease of not role playing with yourself, I'll say Ifrit, especially knowing how tired everyone is, I think Ifrit would be waking up Ziva to get them ready for school. So I think it'll be Ifrit and Ziva heading down.
What time in proximity to you doing your thingy
Oh, good
is
question.
this?
Yeah. What time would it be? Or are you just waiting for Ziva to come down?
I'm just sort of waiting for Ziva to come down, I think. I want to get a sense of how they are. That's all.
If this happened before Iftrin will come up, I would say he's also kind of a light sleeper. So he would just like open his eyes and first look around before even thinking about pulling down the blanket, because he hasn't heard anything like that, at least not in a while. And eventually he just starts like turning around, still in the blanket, and now it's kind of coming with him, coming apart from the bed as he's looking at the door. And then I would assume...
you mean the Steam launch, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you
would
got
have
arm
found that?
weapon steam on your actions now.
Yes, thank you.
That's cool. Yeah, so he's just been awake for however long, and then eventually waiting for Grandma to wake him up at the normal time that she usually does.
He's been awake his entire... Oh my god, okay.
He's scared.
Yeah, that's very fair, that's fair. Yeah, I think Ifrin's a deep sleeper. Ifrin, like, they sleep like a rock. She sleeps like a rock. So she slept straight through it and would wake up, but I think wakes up like always at the same time to get ready, the forge ready. And that's usually around the time that she'll wake up Ziva to get ready for school. So yeah, you just hear Ziva would hear a knock at the door, and just Ifrin
And
saying,
he is startled. He just like jolts for a second because he was expecting it but not expecting it, kind of like that alarm that just went national. That was horrible.
and just hear Ifrin's voice from the other side. Wake up, Ziva, you have to go to school.
Yeah. And you hear just a slight rustle as you can then hear like the little sliding of his feet. Oh, people dragging their feet. That's what you hear.
Yeah.
And he digs through just to get himself ready throughout the room, taking a long time because he's still looking around, just like, what was that noise?
Yeah.
Before eventually.
It's
I don't know if
such a
everyone
good
downstairs by this time,
description. Oh my god, I can't remember the amount of times not even picking up my feet, making as much noise as possible. Ugh.
You gotta remind your parents how angry you are.
Exactly. But yeah, I think Ifrit would like get ready, like they would be like, this is usually enough to wake up Ziva and then go about their day like washing up and stuff. But then by the time they come out and see that Ifrit see that Ziva hasn't come out yet, there'll be more knocking at the door. Like, Ziva?
And
Ziva, are
he
you
was
awake?
just about to grab the door handle as you do this, and it scares him again. But this time she hears the "Ah!" And then like kind of a step back. And then he's
Ifrit will just open the door.
nothing, and he goes to grab the door and just opens it. Good morning, Grandma.
Good morning. Why are you taking so long? You have school.
Yeah, I'm just
Are
super
you-
tired.
Yeah,
so
no, I can
tired.
see that. And they'll grab Diva's face, just like squeeze their cheeks and smush their face. Have you been up all night?
Yeah, did you hear there was like a huge explosion. There's no way you didn't hear that, right?
I sleep like a rock. You know this. Come on. It takes a lot to wake me up. I was out cold. What was the sound?
It almost sounded like it could be like a dragon walking on the ground,
Well,
or like 10 atomic. It was really loud.
I think when Ziva mentions automatons, they would take Ziva's hand and go, "It's okay. There aren't any automatons here. No dragons.
You don't know that.
There are no automatons that will hurt you here." I'll be honest, I am working on an automaton. There was one in a recent commission I was helping with they had some joint problems and I was
Wait, can I
fixing
see it?
that. After school. Get ready, come on.
Right, and then he just drags his feet even more right past her and into their bathroom, and you just hear it should be a gentle shut as usual, but it's like the little bit in between a slam and just a close. Like you hear the echo in the hallway, and you just hear the anger of the faucet turn on and just water running.
Honestly, I don't know where he gets it from. Don't know where he gets it from. And Ifrit will head down the stairs.
As she does so, she would notice that where she was washing the dishes, Myshkin is stood by the sink and is using, with a single mage hand, is just casting heat metal. And you see steam rising from the various pieces of cutlery as they just dry themselves in his hand. And he's just placing them to one side, one at a time, and gently nods at her.
No, and they'll take you and gently usher you out. You're a guest here. You're not going to do any chores.
It is not a chore when it is a means of thanks. Please.
I appreciate it, but truly, this would be a slight on me if I let you do this. So a way to thank me is to not do chores.
Very well. And the mage hand disappears, and Myshkin just sits at the kitchen table, the brown piece of fabric just over his shoulders, and just looks at Ifrit.
I think Ifrit has turned on the oven just to have it preheat. I don't think Ifrit can cook, but they're not the cook of the house. I think that's very much V. And so they're kind of getting things set up for V, who'll be probably waking up in the next few minutes as well. But as they're kind of moving around the room from the kitchen to the forge, though, they would turn to Myshkin and say, I'll be honest, I was very tired yesterday, so I didn't really have the energy to ask. But all of you came in really bad shape last night. What happened?
The energy that you had to ask questions would likely be the energy we had to answer them. We, ran into a little bit of trouble. As is fairly usual for us at the moment.
Yes, no, I'm starting to notice that. Is my son dragging you into more trouble than you'd like? I know most of your guests here at Stormforge. The last thing I want him to do is inconvenience all of you.
Your son is not the problem, quite the reverse.
I'm glad he's not being a nuisance. I mean, he's being somewhat of a good host. Speaking of, do you want anything in particular? I know Farouk wanted the canned biscuits, so that's ready for him. But did you want anything in particular?
No, I am fine with bread.
Okay, any kind of bread in particular?
I have found my eye wandering a little bit with zucchini bread.
Yes, we have plenty of that left over, and I'm sure V will be happy to bake some more from scratch. You don't think you have anything more than a day stale. You don't have any allergies or anything like that, so we're going to be making a pretty big breakfast.
I am a very easy guest.
One that apparently likes to do chores in their host's house.
Call it, itchy fingers. And Myshkin raises his wrists and places them back on the table.
Ifrit full belly laughs. I think Ifrit fully laughs at that. I think they love a good joke. That's a good one. No, thank you though. I don't want to sound like I'm brushing aside your generosity there. Specifically with dwarves, we are. Hospitality is our thing. That's how we show love. And the last thing I want you to do is have to do any extra work, especially after whatever went down last night. But thank you for keeping an eye out for my son as well. I can only imagine that they needed help from you in whatever escapades they got up to last night. By the way, are you good at charades?
I am a little hampered in the miming, but I'm a good guesser.
Oh,
Okay.
Grandma, what's for breakfast? Here. Siva's coming down the stairs. A little more clomping, because he didn't realize they had guests. And then by the time he gets to almost that bottom step, he stops rubbing his eyes for a second to look up and, oh. Hi.
Yes, we have guests, Ziva.
Nobody told me. How am I supposed to expect that?
I'm sorry, you shouldn't be stomping around the house anyway.
He says, going down and just plopping at the table and kind of just pushing his chin forward, waiting.
Yes, no, I think we're going to have some zucchini bread, maybe some canned biscuits. Yes, we have guests and they have a hankering for zucchini bread. If you want anything in particular, I'm sure V can throw something together.
I'd probably just get something with Colby at school.
Maybe that
It's
school
not
is
zucchini
overly
bread.
expensive. Okay, fine, okay. Do you have any gold left on you, or do you need to top up for lunch today?
He's digging through his pockets and he turns them inside out and there's holes in them. No, ma'am. I'll have
After
zucchini
school,
bread.
yes, you'll have zucchini bread. After school, remind me to sew your uniform. Okay. And I think as they say this, you hear V walking down the stairs and they go, has Ziva torn their uniform again?
It wasn't me. Colby shoved his fist in my pockets.
Why is Colby shoving their fists in your
'Cause
pockets?
he was trying to give me a bunch of rocks to hold me down. He was like, "You're gonna fly away, Ziva." You know he's dumb.
I think B's just going down the stairs at this point and squeezes Ziva's cheeks and just goes, "You probably wouldn't say that if you ate more. You're just so
What?
skinny, Ziva. You need to eat more."
I'm a growing guy. I eat fine.
Okay. Zucchini bread, I heard, and V would just almost immediately grab the apron, put it on, and tie it as they dip into the kitchen, and giving Myshkin a warm smile.
As
Zucchini bread and all, Kaivar still does not wake up yet.
as this family unit are moving around the kitchen, truly, this is Farouk's darkest day.
Truly the darkest timeline.
And then I woke up and all the zucchini bread was gone. They made me do the truffle shuffle before I could eat the cinnamon rolls.
So as this family unit are walking around, and Myshkin is watching this very beautiful dynamic between the three of them. So Ifrit, what made you want to become an inventor or an artificer?
Oh, I just had a knack for building, I suppose. I always really enjoyed it. From a young age, I was already stacking rocks and blocks together to see what I can create and how tall I can make the towers or how oddly shaped I can make them before they collapse. And I guess that just grew into building, smelting, welding, and then very quickly learned that I can make a career out of it. Everyone's trying to be somewhat of an adventurer, or to some degree, so I kind of started my career as specifically a blacksmith, fixing armors, weapons, shields, and then I guess fairly recently now, or at least recently for me, there was a pretty big industrial boom with just building in general, and that kind of went into that aspect of things. Now I'm working with automatons more than shields at this point. I'll be honest, can't build an automaton, not great at that, but I can help with the maintenance of it. Actual inventing and building, I think I have a few more years of learning and experience to do before I can get to that stage.
I imagine.
Is anyone going to ask Myshkin why they're here? They weren't here yesterday.
Oh, yes. No, Myshkin.
Where have you been? He's like leaning over the table now, almost not meaning to like reach out to you, but his hand just like spread across the table as he's looking at you.
Ifrit gently smacks his hand, like, "Come on, I was off the table."
Well, stop. Why you're here now? It's been a few weeks. Why were you here with everyone?
Well, I can't speak for everyone else, but I've been exploring your city.
Why? Stormforge is boring.
To those who call it home, perhaps. There are hidden corners.
So why are you so bad?
Ziva,
Where have you been? What'd you do?
Ask that.
Look at him. He's got like. It looks a little.
Yes,
do you
we
need help
can.
brushing your fur? I could show you some of the products I use.
I don't know whether my fur is quite the same as your rather impressive
Ah,
looks.
come on. They always say different hair, but I don't believe that.
Ifrit would say, "You can give it a try. They do have some fur on the ears, and they're like
Here,
just
wait here,
gently
wait here."
pinch
And he
their ears."
runs upstairs. And probably not even a minute later, after you've heard bottles falling from where they normally rest, and then you see him coming down around the corner, his arms hugging, just a bunch of different products, some probably expired that you told him to throw away and he never did. And so he lays them all out on the table, and he's like, "Okay, so we have different types. What kind of?"
Wait, Ziva,
Have
please
yours
don't
is,
tell
like,
me you use this
No,
today.
no. It is all right. I'm always interested to learn.
Thank you.
Okay,
See, I'm like a teacher.
I do need to ask. You didn't use this one today, did you? And pick up one of the very expired ones.
So what kind of fur do you have, Myshkin?
Oh, God, your fur's gonna fall out. So after walk away and toss it into the bin.
Wait, I was using that one. Ugh.
You should have stopped using it nearly a month ago.
It works fine. It's just a shelf life. They're lying to you to spend more money. That's what I learned in school.
I see that cynicism is already bred in you at quite a young age.
Sure. Answer my question.
It is, and he pushes back the fabric that is over him, and you see very wiry fur, and I would say Ifrit especially would probably notice these black metallic fronds, very mechanical in nature, poking out from underneath bandages as Myshkin just brings his arm out towards Ziva and...
Ooh, and he gets up, goes around you like a hairdresser, like you're sitting in the chair and he's ready to work. And so almost like a primate, he just starts picking around, just like, this strand is longer than this one's actually really thick. I don't know what you did to do that one, but that one's good and you won't lose your hair faster. But you could probably use some moisturizer. You have split ends too. I don't know if you knew that.
Ziva,
Sorry.
personal space, and ask for permission first.
Okay, but let me, quick help. And he like leans over the table and grabs out this, it's like a Moroccan oil or argan oil or something. And he's just like, okay, my mom taught me this one, but you put it on your hands, and he squirts some pumps and he rubs it around on his fingertips, and he like goes at one patch of your fur. And it's like, and you only touch the ends, okay? You do not touch the skin, because that's natural oil production. How do you think my curls look so great and they are not put together at all? He has not done his hair.
You see the
Bouncy too.
golden sun pendant around Myshkin's neck light up green as a hand appears over his right wrist, and he holds his hand out for some of the
You wanna try it?
product. Please.
So that's so cool. And then he kind of grabs your wrist and it's just like, okay, just so he could steady, and he gives you a few pumps. It's like, just the fingertips, okay? Just this little part.
And he sort of
Don't touch the scalp.
presses it through his ears a little bit, and
And it feels good too. And now it won't tangle as bad, and it'll look shiny, and it'll grow still.
well, hopefully my tail can look as resplendent as yours.
You see him flapping his tail like a little bit with that. There's a little wags. It's like, thank you. I actually thank my mom, but still, it's on me. So thank you.
Thank you, Ziva.
Of course. And not doing anything with any of the products on the tables, he looks around and just sees everybody, some sleeping and not noticing where Kaivar is, but assuming Kaivar is there and within his special wooden crate before he looks at the clock. I'm gonna be late! And he goes and grabs his bag. Be like, don't use all my product. I love you, grandmas. I don't know where mom and dad are, but if they come home, love you too. And then he runs out the door and you hear him yelling down the street for Colby.
And I think the moment Ziva's out, everyone is shaking their head. I think V's poked their head out to say I love you back as they rush out. But everyone's shaking their head, but then turns to look at Myshkin and gestures to Myshkin's arm and goes, unlike my grandson, I'm going to ask, do you mind?
Myshkin just looks down at his forearm and just reaches it out.
And they would take it and look at these metallic prongs. And you didn't have these the last time you were here.
It is a rather regretful reminder of a night poorly spent.
I would like to roll for Ifrit and see if they can identify or get any idea of what this metal is?
Go ahead and roll crafting.
Can't remember, what did we say Ifrin's crafting was? I need to actually write that down because we're rolling for Ifrin more than I expected. I'll be honest. I need to write down their stats.
Also, can I make a retroactive stealth roll, please?
Oh.
Go for it. Stealth or sleight of hand? Which would be thievery in this case. Oh no! Slide Discord crash. They'll be back in just a second, everybody.
I know.
Back.
Sure that when Farouk comes back,
We are back.
we all body him to make sure that we're able to appropriately give him the big group hug that we've been avoiding for the last 20 episodes, okay?
Yeah.
Plan. That's a good
I
game
heard
plan.
none of it.
Good game plan.
So I just made a retroactive stealth check. As Ziva is running out, using his tail, Myshkin just wants to take a gold coin out of his satchel and just pop it into not the pocket with all of the holes in, but as somewhere at least a little bit secure on Ziva's person.
In his backpack, maybe.
You can probably throw it in his bag.
Yeah, in his
Yeah.
bag. You know, I imagine, I mean, Sam, it's up to you, so you're playing Ziva. But do you think Ziva would notice that at 19 stealth?
Oh, absolutely not. Not with how frantic he was leaving.
Yeah, that's
and
what I was
I
thinking.
was going to roll if it was in his pocket because he would feel that. But
Yeah.
I feel like there's no way he'd feel that. That doesn't make sense.
But yeah, no, I was gonna roll a crafting check for Ifrin to see if they can identify this metal. But I can't remember what we said the crafting was. Was it like?
A master
18?
craftsman, so yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
definitely
I think the actual stats
18.
for that. I probably should look for that later. But
We're gonna make tokens for them.
hell yeah, okay. What are you doing? There we go.
Oh,
Nat 20. Oh my
guaranteed.
god.
Yeah,
Of course it is. Hell yeah. Never doubt for a second.
Episode 20!
If each of us doesn't get a natty 20, gonna be so angry.
I can't wake up to eat. This is the most.
You're so
watch.
tired. We probably should check on you.
Lolly
I'm gonna
literally
balance the
performed a
scales.
miracle. We're about to see literally the origin of artificing.
It's fine. I'm going to balance the scales. I'm going to roll a 1 and say that the harmonics of your snoring from the night before has put Kaivar in a coma. Right? Here comes this roll. I guarantee. I bet. Okay.
No. I think you actually wake up.
Yeah.
That's so funny. It's so funny, the origins of Artificer. When you, Rifton's like, oh yeah, and I forgot to mention I started artificing. Yeah, I started the whole thing. It slipped my mind when you asked.
The Azometer was me. It was my idea.
Ifrin is secretly a god.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, I think, you know, I'll save that for later.
I'm gonna drop a small piece of lore there with that nat 20 on this. That
Oh damn, okay.
Ifrin comes from the lineage that created the Earth's Matter, the meter that led the Dunfolk and dwarves from the mountains up to the Stormwar.
Ooh. I like that. Yeah.
Old,
I think that adds up. Actually.
old school lineage.
Yeah.
Like, definitely has a picture of like the original crew, like the tin, like there's somebody in
100%.
a raccoon skin cap That's
Yeah. 100%.
Oh, well, that means
Absolutely.
that means there's also a Pioneer style rifle somewhere for you.
I honestly imagine that's probably, now that we're doing this, and I think this actually ties up really well, I imagine that's how Kallisto got into sharpshooting, I think. Like, I think that's how he got into it. And also he has clan pistols, so at least in Pathfinder there are clan daggers and clan pistols, which are just like heirlooms passed down through dwarven generations, and I chose a clan pistol. So my pistols are dwarven made for specifically the Amberheart clan.
So what makes this even better, because we are around this time, these Dunvolcan dwarves are very inspired from the ancestry of Germanic descent of the area that I'm around, and because they are from more northern parts of Germany around what that time that was Lower Saxony, Oktoberfest coincides with Schützenfest. So right around this time, there are, around Oktoberfest, there are still within the institutions around town, there are marksman fests that still arrange, and you always get like, it's like a turkey, like everybody, like it's a turkey shoot, or like they've become very redneckified of what they originally became from. It's like, all right, Bill won the shot fest today, he gets to bring back a butterball. But yeah, I would say that it would be just a little bit of dropping a little lore in there. Definitely the marksman festivals are coming up with this crisp fall air rolling in too. I think Averforge is the best thing to ever come out of this campaign.
Can we do like a fun fair episode? Kallisto just like
we have a mixed history with carnivals in this stream.
That's what
mixed history with
carnivals.
Wait, you're right. We've had too many parties.
We did one over the weekend, and I love them. And so yes, the answer is yes.
The Witchlight Carnival has seen comedy and tragedy play out in equal measure across many timelines and many different regions of history.
But yes, do continue.
Yes, no, I'm just saying, and also for anyone wondering, to see in chat, Ifrit and V are both dwarves, and they are the adoptive parents of Kallisto, who isn't a dwarf. Kallisto's a Suli, so half, I think it was like half water-based Genasi style character, and half fire-based. And I think still to this day doesn't know what specific ancestry it is, but we have suspicions that the fire side is at least a Ifriti. But yeah, for anyone who's wondering that. But yeah, that role was for Ifrit to see if they could identify the metal that the prongs on Myshkin are made of. Or at least maybe the origins of them.
I would say that they're going to see an alloy that they haven't seen in a very, very long time. A mixture that could have only come from the hottest and largest of forges deep within the actual Thundera caverns that mine lightning ore. But there's part of it that they don't recognize that seems very strange, because the bits and pieces that would be typically storm ore and electrically enhanced seems to have changed. And she can only describe the different striations in this ore like biological veins to flesh. This would be at first astonishing and then disturbing.
Yeah. So I think on like first glance, they notice the resemblance and elements of it that are lightning ore, and the alloy that it must have been created to make this. But then as they look closer, they start to notice these almost biological parallels of like the veins and the striations in them, and something a bit more. And I think you've only known Ifrit for a while, like for a short while, and usually if they are like physical, usually like how they dragged you into the home when you dare question whether or not that you're welcome in there. But for the most part, they're always very they very much always are careful around people. They always ask if they can, like they said, ask if they can check your weaponry or your arm. But as they see this, they very abruptly, I think, drag you into the forge area. Still staring at your arm, but dragging you to the forge area and place your arm underneath almost like a magnifying setup they have, like with several lenses that they use when doing very intricate artificery. And they kind of zoom in on the striations of the metal in your arm. And with a really concerned tone, one that I think you can only really liken to a parent worried about their child, they ask, what happened yesterday, and how did you end up with this?
A mistake on my part. I was looking into an organization, one I have been tracking for some time, and one of their machines all but consumed me.
They did this to you. Okay. Does it hurt? As they gently press around the area of the prongs and metal.
No. It feels altogether too natural. In truth, I had not thought about it.
At first I thought it was just lightning ore, an alloy using lightning ore, and I've seen a good amount of that. It's rare, but I know how that works, how to work it, the properties of it. But there's more added to this, more done with this, and at a heat that I'll be honest, wasn't sure was publicly available. Forges don't burn this hot normally. You need to be under very specific circumstances and burn very specific fuel to get it hot enough to make something like this. What was this organization?
They were called the Silent Gear.
Ifrit has heard of the Silent Gear, but you said RoBear is something like the boogeyman or like a myth. Like most people think it's just an excuse to explain away.
Like a mafia kind of thing.
Yeah, mafia kind of thing.
Like they know they exist, but nobody messes with them.
Okay, so they know it exists. Okay. So that's where you all came back from last night, the Silent Gear, or at least a run-in with them.
That is why they stole away with myself and your daughter-in-law. She protected me. They all did.
That doesn't surprise me. Loluphia's always one to take care about this.
Yes, she is.
But why have you been looking for the Silent Gear? If any of the myths and legends about them are to be believed, even a fraction of them, they're not to be messed with.
Myshkin looks at Ifrit and then over at her partner in the kitchen and towards the door where Ziva left, and it is a matter of family for me. I lost people very dear to me.
At this point, I think this entire time they'd been looking at your arm very much like a someone like an artificer inspecting a rare material. They've been looking through these lenses this entire time, but as you say this, they do look up to meet your gaze. I understand. I do anything for family as well, but do you know what you're up against? What forces they have at their whims? Do you have any at yours?
I didn't. And Myshkin takes his arm back. I might do now.
Yes, no, you should speak with Kallisto and Loluphia. While I'm not entirely sure they've ever had to tackle anything on the level of the silent gear, it's their job, and quite frankly, as much as they might want to deny it, their nature to help others.
Ifrit, I would never ask your son or your daughter to do anything they would not want to do.
Trust me, even if you wanted to, it would be hard to get them to do it anyway. So I'm not too worried about that.
I know them well enough to know that is the truth.
Speaking of, where are they? You get some food in you. I'm going to wake them up. Being awful hosts. And they're gonna get up and start heading up the stairs to their room.
And I'll say, as Myshkin heads to the kitchen, his tail is just going to stroke over Farouk's nose briefly, just bristling underneath.
Get him awake.
What is happening? Oh my god. The dice
There's no
truly
way.
do not want them to have zucchini bread. They just
This
do
is
not
the
want-
balance for the 20s, man. This is the balance.
The oven is still preheating, that's why he doesn't smell the food yet.
I haven't heard the crack of the biscuits. That's why. Zucchini bread, so last week. Fresh cinnamon rolls, everything this
so
week.
last week.
Oh gosh. Oh, don't get me started on food. I'll go on like the 5th tangent of this episode.
Oh god. Oh, that's so funny.
I'm gonna find that
Yeah.
extra crook. Like, you know, when you wake up, you know you need to get up, but you don't care. You feel like you roll over into this spot and you go, I may never move from this again.
Yeah. Yeah. There are times
It's
when
like,
I'm like barely awake and I know I need to wake up, but I'm like, if I move, I'll find that sweet spot. And if I find that sweet spot, I will never get up. Like, I will never get up.
It's
So I
truly a
used to
demon's
move.
place for productivity.
It's like listening to a David Attenborough documentary. It's just like, if he topples over now, he may never get up.
I think honestly, with how bad Farouk has been rolling, I think it's past the point of preheating. I do think they're deep into actually baking the zucchini bread, but Farouk is just not waking up from it.
You let me know whenever that first pop goes off. All right, I'm rolling.
I think it'll be like, is Myshkin about to start eating?
Oh no,
Like, is he about
Myshkin's
to-
just No. Myshkin
No,
doesn't eat.
okay. I think Trigger's going to be the first pop of the can is going to be when like it seems like Myshkin at the very least is about to start to eat, and then they'll be like, okay, cool, let's pop this open so it's nice and fresh for everyone. A fresh open.
You let me know. That's my next fortitude roll.
But yeah, I think Ifrit, you hear Loluphia and Kallisto will hear a knock at the door from Ifrit, and you just hear, You two need to wake up. We have guests. We need to at the very least host them a little bit.
I will say that as soon as she starts talking, that door opens, and it's the Loluphia who's already ready for the day. She's like, shh. She's looking back, letting Kallisto rest a little bit longer as long as he needs to. And then she would just step out and, still stepping forward, reach her hand behind her to close the door. He needs to sleep. I don't think he's ready for... She looks down the hallway toward the staircase. People.
Oh, whatever happened last night must have been a lot if it's tired him out that much. Okay. I'll give him a bit more time to rest. Myshkin told me
I
a
should
little
also
bit about
warn you
what happened.
before he comes down
Oh?
that he looks a little different. Don't make it strange, please.
What do you mean different? Does he have the metal prongs in him as well?
No, what? And she just, like, wraps her arm around Ifrit's shoulder to, like, lead her toward the staircase. Let's get away from the door first.
Okay, yes, no. Do you have any metal prongs in you?
No, I'm perfectly me.
Okay.
And leading down the stairs, she is still very hushed saying it, but his arm is, I think, better. But it's not lava anymore. It's rock.
Okay, what happened? How did that... That's great news, but how?
Me.
So I did say that it's going to be tough to fix him. I meant as a personality-wise. I didn't mean physically.
Honestly,
How did you...
And if I could tell you what happened, I would. But it just happened.
Well, this is great news. We should celebrate.
I would wait to get the reaction of how Kallisto is feeling this morning. There's still a lot going on within this group, so as he comes down, like, celebrate at his pace.
Okay.
If it's worth celebrate. Did you hear that big loud boom last night?
Ziva mentioned something like that. No, I was asleep.
Oh,
I was really... Yes, no,
Did he
it takes
sleep?
a lot. I don't think so, I'll be quite honest. He seemed
He's
pretty
gonna
exhausted
fail.
when I woke him up. But I think he should be okay.
Don't tell
He
that to
tore his
Kallisto either,
uniform.
then he'll feel guilty.
Oh, okay. I'm pretty sure he'll notice when Ziva comes back home, but I suppose
He's
I'll
young.
leave it.
He'll be fine. And
Okay.
she lifts her head up away from you and getting to that bottom step and, oh, good morning, Myshkin. Why is
Morning.
everybody else still asleep? She's looking around.
I'm an early riser.
I should have remembered that. And she says, kind of walking around the kitchen just to grab a cup and some hot water as she prepares herself some tea and sits at the table. Farouk's really loud. Has somebody tried to wake him up?
V pokes her head out. Yes, I'll be honest, I was hoping that the smell of zucchini bread would wake him up, but I think he's really out cold this time.
Is he alive? I mean, like, I hear noises, but that
I've been
could be
hearing the
excess
I
gas
think-
trying to release itself.
Do you want to try? Let's try. Yes. V's gonna try and gently shake Farouk awake. Farouk? Farouk.
While he's leaning over looking.
Kramer, not that word, Kramer.
Farouk. Good morning.
Not that word,
He's
Kramer.
alive. He's alive.
Shh. Please don't scream.
What time is it?
Why we? I think V turns to Ifrit. Why are we being quiet? And Ifrit's like, Kallisto's still asleep, and he's fixed.
Stop.
What do you mean? What do you mean fixed?
Nothing.
Nothing. It just looks at Loluphia and then back at Myshkin. Yes, nothing.
Well, obviously, nobody's going to believe that.
That's a big decision for a young
It
family.
looks different.
Not in that way. I hope not in that way. They look to Loluphia.
Farouk is still very groggy.
I'm about to go back to bed if you all don't stop it.
We will not pry.
Thank you. That's
Well.
all I ask.
But
Oh, great.
I am glad.
Farouk just stares at you strangely and then goes over and sees that the biscuits have not been opened yet. And he's going to have a big smile on his face.
You're pretty sleepy last night, but you mentioned canned biscuits, so I set them out for you.
He takes up the canister. My favorite part. And I'm going to make a thievery check.
Yeah, I was about to say, because I'm going to do perception. Lolly would try to stop you. Are you kidding me? That's such a loud noise. Your thievery's not better than that.
Not a thief. I openly take everything. I'm just trying to delicately open this thing up.
You know, old man privileges is fine.
Lolly makes so much more noise than you by scooting the chair back, and as it scrapes against the wood, she's then moving around. She's like, "What are you doing? Don't pop that. Do you even know how to do this?"
What's wrong? What's wrong?
It'll sound like a gunshot.
Okay, I'll go do it outside.
Just wait a little longer. I'm sure he'll be up in no time. The birds are very loud this morning.
But I want
That's what me up.
cinnamon rolls, Larry.
Okay, fine. But it's going to be without the pop.
No.
I will suppress it. Will you either get your cinnamon rolls or not?
Oh, it's like half the best part.
Okay, fine. I will do this then. Could I cast air bubble and like put you in this can in an air bubble?
I don't think anyone can hear me. I poke the edge of the bubble. I see it kind of
You
like
see this
extend.
big old bubble.
I begin to
We're
press
all
my
watching with
face against
anticipation.
the bubble, and I begin to see if I can blow side bubbles onto the edge of it.
They may
How
not wake
strong is
Kallisto
how
up.
strong is
This-
that wind that you get? Coming out of them lungs?
I think you need to go ahead and roll me a spell, or what's your spell save
Yeah.
DC?
Do you want me to just do this thing? There you go.
In your spells at the very top, it'll say,
Oh, 24 or 14. No. Wait, 24.
24, yeah.
all right, here, my blow test. This would be, sucking wind, and then,
Acrobatics.
Sounds like a fortitude to me.
all right, acrobatics, you called for it.
Yeah, I feel like you're.
No!
Well, I don't know how this works out, but that definitely wakes Kyver up.
Balance.
I'm trying to make additional bubbles, but instead, my face gets stuck, and it's just flattened against this bubble.
It's like the movie's Ants when he's trying to eat the sandwich.
Yeah.
Can't pull it off. And
Just
I'll
pop your can.
pop the biscuits, and it pops the bubble and like splatters over my face.
You upstairs, you hear a thud as Kallisto probably jumps and rolls out of bed at the sound
Oh,
of that.
great.
You just hear it very silent, very quiet, but you just hear it muffled. Oh. Ow. And then he
Nobody
gets up
say
from
anything.
bed.
Lolly's pointing at everybody. You've
Kaivar
not seen her
falls out of the
personality like
crate.
this. She's like mom right now, basically. Here, let me help you, and then she just will blow some wind at you and dry up all that water.
I don't know where the frosting pack is.
Myshkin looks over in the direction of Kaivar to see if this commotion has woken their insectoid friend.
He's literally fallen out of the crate at the popping of the bubble, and it's like somebody who has the basic fight response when they come out of some kind of period of unconsciousness, except it's not there. It's so not there. Kaivar's like fallen out half prepped, and it's like a small dog trapped under a blanket, you know, like is flailing his arms a little bit and then just slowly just gives up. Just like, no, I need to extricate myself from this slowly. This will not work otherwise. Underneath, I think you hear muffled like, as Kaivar is just slowly trying to properly figure out what to say with the Vox, not working at all.
Myshkin goes over to try and help you up a little bit and extends a wrist. And how did you sleep?
Oh, is it, bad, yes.
This one too.
Myshkin, did you use a spell? A fireball? No?
And
this one-
Myshkin turns
this
to the
one,
direction of
Kaivar.
Farouk.
This is when Kaivar heard big boom in night. Oh,
Oh, you heard it too. Okay.
so Myshkin did. Myshkin, why? It's just like assuming that you've confirmed the idea that he's used a fireball as opposed to anything else. Like immediately going for the anchor principle there. It's the first thing that he's thought of, and it's absolutely just been confirmed.
And he looks over to Lolly, remembering her insistence on not bringing anything up. Just turns to you, Kaivar, and
You can try to whisper. We're not that close.
no, he is respectful of your privacy, and he turns to Kaivar and says, this one was about to have some more zucchini bread, if Kaivar would like to join.
Yeah, all thoughts completely dropped. You can see it in his little eyes, suddenly wide, dilated completely. Oh,
No thoughts head empty.
yes. It's literally the most brilliant little kind of like it turns him into a ginger cat, if that makes sense, where it's like, you know, smooth brain, no ridges or lumps, no valleys or bumps. All it is.
And
like,
Myshkin
right off.
took that personally.
He is a ginger cat. Come on.
No, oh god, I forgot this small detail.
All smooth brain, baby.
You
I
do
love my
realize
little
this
ginger
makes
boy.
you like the most intelligent ginger cat in existence.
Oh boy.
It's the reptilian part of him.
Yeah.
Sorry about that little detour. Didn't quite mean to go there. Yeah,
It's mid the
Kaivar is
episode.
going to enthusiastically nod and allow me to escape this conversation.
Kallisto
Myshkin
coming
just-
down.
Yeah, I think you'd
Sorry.
hear. Oh, Ed, do you want to finish?
No, I was just saying I gesture Kaivar over to the table.
Yeah, I think you
Yeah.
hear the footsteps, the very hurried footsteps of Kallisto rushing down the stairs. I think upon hearing that pop, they think there's some kind of gunfire has gone on. And with a pistol in hand, still in their pajamas, they rush down to survey the area and see that there very much is a gunfight happening, and Farouk is
Everyone's
covered
fine.
in. Okay,
It
what?
was the canned biscuits.
Oh, most Farouk. Are you going to eat that or apply that to your face?
I'm still looking for the frosting packet as I'm laying the
It's
biscuits
probably
out.
under the cabinet.
It's.
Oh,
on
no,
the
here
list
it
of-
is.
I think.
He peels it off from the excess on the side of his head. Burned it.
Ah,
Great.
Hey.
Need to put that in some hot water.
oh.
A little bit of a little bit of bubble slime quickly evaporates away, as I don't think that Lolly's magic deserves to be disgustified anymore by Farouk and his Nat 1. So kind of
I'm assuming with Kallisto coming down fresh from bed, your arm is probably just on full display.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think because of the situation he usually is in, with his arm either being on fire or at least low embers, he usually sleeps without a top on, or if he does have a top, it's usually sleeveless. So I think today's probably like a sleeveless top with his pajama pants as he rushes down the stairs, and he kind of surveys the area, sees that Ziva's bag is gone, and kind of sighs. Glad that someone was able to get him out of bed and get him to school. Okay. Well, then, I think I'm gonna eat some breakfast.
Myshkin is
yeah,
just
and she looks
staring
at
his
Ifrit and
arm.
V. We should put something together.
Ivar nonchalantly walks up to you and offers you a bit of stale zucchini bread, not thinking about any of it. Head completely empty.
Zucchini crouton.
Oh my
Yeah.
god. I think Kallisto's like, I'm okay. I can smell the baking some fresh zucchini bread, but thank you. Mom, do you need any help? And I think I think we told Ifrit to keep on the down low, but I don't think we told V yet. Have we? I don't think we have. So I think V's just like, your arm. Just straight up, your arm. And Kallisto looks down and goes, yes, I'll be honest, I don't know, but Loluphia helped fix it.
She is not turning around or joining this conversation. She obviously is listening. She's very well in proximity. She's like busying herself.
I didn't burn or even really singe any part of the bed last night. Not even my pajamas. Whatever she did, it's holding. And I'll be honest, I'm not going to look a gift horse in the mouth. And
Can you still feel the same sensation as before?
Kallisto turns to face Myshkin at this, and there's a moment of silence, I think, as he looks to Myshkin and then sort of shakes his head. There's still, I can only really describe volcanic activity going on in here, but I don't know, whatever Loluphia did, I think my other half, the water and ice side, is probably working a bit overtime, but working to counteract it.
Loluphia turns around whenever you're talking about this and just sets down whatever she's holding, and she looks at your arm, and your arm, when you mention lava, it seems like there's almost a silver lining of sheen that goes across those veins, and it glows with a little bit of electricity within it. As with her storm soul blending in to yours, she's actually molded your arm into Thundera ore.
Oh, Ifrit. Ifrit would notice this, I think, immediately on first glance, and then look to the arm, look to Loluphia, and look to Myshkin, and then grab both Myshkin and Ifrit's arms and drag them into the forge and put them both under the magnifying glass.
Myshkin looks very awkward standing in this close proximity to Kallisto.
Yeah.
Don't hurt them, it's fine. She doesn't know what's happening, and she's kind of walking after you, just like, it's okay if you're
not
angry.
Fine. I'm not angry. I'm worried now. I thought only Myshkin had the whole lightning or alloy thing going on. Now, Kallisto, you did this, Loluphia?
You were there.
Oh, this is Ifrit asking Loluphia.
Oh God, I was like, Kallisto, yeah, duh.
Sorry. No, Ifrit is asking you.
Blacked out.
You did this?
Yes, I did.
No, I think even in this like haze, this excitement and panic, they know you're not very much one for like physical contact. But you see that they're about to reach out for you, and then don't, and then gesture for you to come close and like lower down to her level.
And she does.
And before I say this, actually, I want to ask RoBear, because the way I've interpreted this is why Ifrit's reacting this way. It's hard or nearly impossible to create lightning ore, right? You find it, but you can't create it.
Yeah, this is a manifestation of a divine nature.
Okay.
That would create your
Divine
own rock essence that has been there to seal it with Thundera, but it makes sense now why it holds and why you're able to do what you're able to do. It's the little engine that could inside your arm.
I think with genuine worry and panic, they look to Loluphia and say, you cannot tell anyone you had anything to do with this. And to be quite honest, we might have to hide this arm. We might have to hide that arm. Because questions are definitely going to be asked. And if you give the answers that you've just told me, you could be either in danger or highly sought out assets, which could still spell danger for you.
Yeah, to be fair, I am magical, so I'm always kind of in danger. It's fine.
Yes, but I think this is more than even that.
Ifrit's seeing in the same day 2 different cases of biological fusion with elements. One in a refined alloy, and now seeing her own son's biological veins intertwined with actual ore. Same thing, 2 different processes. And I'm gonna let you guys refill your beverage as Ifrit has this epiphany.
They're bouncing between being on a full-blown panic and being excited as an artificer. Because like, this is incredible, but also this is terrifying.
You've done so well, Drak. I'm so here for it. You guys have been fantastic. I'm going to grab a quick water. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
So, to confirm, what is the kind of ore? Sorry, that...
Thundera.
Thundera. I think the colloquial term, like the layman, is called lightning ore, but like the official...
Yeah.
is
It's literally the
Thundera.
storm ore.
Yeah,
Nice, okay.
storm ore, that's it, yeah.
But it's from the Thundera caves. So that's why they call it that. And then it transitioned to the name of Stormforge. I only know this because of stuff that I've talked about before. Anyway.
Lore things. We are all here for lore things.
Oh, yeah. Juicy lore things. There's a reason why this makes sense, too.
This is
Nice.
great. I talked to RoBear about getting this ability, the Steam cone thing, but it's not the avenue I was thinking of happening at all. But I love this so much more.
I see that natural 20. Clutch.
Yeah.
That was so cool. And when I got to describe it, I was like, ooh, hell yeah. This is like perfect for Lolly to have this moment with Kallisto.
Yeah.
Especially after so much tension.
I mean, there's still questions that Kallisto has that's definitely going to be asked.
We only held hands twice.
Wait, you
And the
held
kisses
hands?
were on the cheek.
I was going to ask what you're doing with the silent gear. What do you mean?
That's what I was talking about was the silent gear. We only touched the silent gear once.
I've been having such a great ride listening to you lot. This has been a fantastic session, and I gotta echo,
True
you've been
banter.
carrying it, Drak. Holy lord.
I've
is banter
never
of
had
the
to play
episode.
multiple characters. This is the only campaign I've ever had to do that before. And honestly, I'm
Really?
loving it. It's actually kind of fun.
You'd be a great DM.
Yeah, 100%.
Echo that.
We'll see. I'm one day, if I do GM, it's going to be off camera, at least the first few times. But we'll see if it becomes a thing I do as content.
You mean you don't want to stream your first ever session of DMing online with your players being all of your DMs who could easily judge you? Yeah. Weird. That sounds like
Yeah,
a
no.
masochist.
I don't have that kind of bravery. I'm a coward. Whoever would do that is honestly a hero, in my opinion. A true trooper, if I do say so myself. You're muted,
the
so he
hero.
can't hear you.
Perfect.
the
I said
hero.
if they'd be a hero if they did it again.
Not the
Are you
hero
doing
we
it
deserve, but definitely the one we need.
With my schedule?
Yeah, no, with your
In this
schedule, yeah.
economy?
Yeah, no.
It's already hard enough being a player.
I do have ideas. Like I was talking to some friends about what I would GM off camera, but a campaign I'm thinking about GMing, and it's either I'm stuck between a Gravity Falls-esque campaign or a Conan Kids Next Door kind of campaign. But like
Yes. Oh my gosh.
but,
Please, if you do, I'm asking you to cast me. Because dear God, I love Kids Next Door. I was obsessed with 4.
Yeah.
He was my favorite. I've
I'm
never
obsessed with
really been
5.
a blonde
5
lover,
and
but boy
3,
was I a
think.
blonde lover.
Yeah, 5 and 3 are my favorite.
3,
but yeah, I'm
yeah, him
thinking
and 3
about-
are my favorite.
Yeah,
I shit them
I'm thinking
so
about
hard.
doing either. Because I want it to be a continuation. Because I love Conan Kids Next Door, and then after they got cancelled, they hinted at the sequel, which is like something in space. I think like teenagers in space. Because so the lore of Conan Kids Next Door is that the
Did you know that
grand
part?
majority of them, they believe that when you become a teenager, which I believe is 13, you
Mm-hmm.
become decommissioned, which is you have your memory of the whole organization wiped. Because you're a teenager, you're
Which is why
basically an
they're
adult now.
boring.
You can't be, you're boring. You can't be one of us anymore. But if you were a elite, well-regarded member of the Conan Kids Next Door, you could stay on even as a teenager. And there are people who were secret agents as teenagers who would work with the adults, but would be double agents for the kids. And there's another sect of them whose base is in space, and there's a whole squad of them who are in space. And the idea was that I think all of the main cast, so the main group, were going to be part of the space teenagers, but the Cartoon Network cancelled the show before they could continue it. But every other year, there's rumors that it's coming back, but it never does. So I was like, I'm gonna make the room a troop by making an actual play. And also distinctly different from Coding Kids Next Door because I don't want Cartoon Network to come after me. Yeah, because I think maybe a couple of years ago I could get away with it, but now with the growing eyes on actual plays, we probably don't have as much leniency with IP as we used to have.
I will say,
yeah.
if it does end up happening, it's a great way to fit Darla in from another universe.
That is
Hey,
true.
we've talked about that. You know, if something happens again, they actually just released a Tales from the Loop in the UK. It's like just send her to boarding school.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Easy.
Famous
Oh my gosh,
five
the last
meets
episode,
Stranger
though.
Things.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. Oh, yes. 100%.
It depends. Yeah. So I either if I think I'm leaning towards Coding Kids Next Door as my off-stream game, just practicing jamming, because the live stream, I think Gravity Force would be a lot more fun to do as a live stream, because I think it's way more giving for an ARG aspect, and I really want to do that more with actual plays I'm producing. And I actually want to do a little bit for Beyond the Brooks, actually talk to you, Ed, about some ideas.
Always, yeah.
That I think would be cool.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, that's some of the things I'm cooking in the back of my head. But that's gonna be way in like quarter 1 or 2 of 2024. To be honest, I do not have the time or energy to do it anytime soon.
No, I get that. Yeah, I've got a couple of ideas noted down for things I want to run. Oh, oh my goodness, that's like a
See?
proper-sized cat.
So
My
All
smooth
ideas
brain
slide
boy.
right. Yeah, all ideas slide right off. Look at that. No. So big.
He is massive.
Yeah, he's a heckin'
He's
chonk.
so hard to hold up. He's like half my. Actually, he's my entire torso.
Sasha is half that size.
Oh my goodness! Sam, this cat is like nearly 3 foot long! What in the
This is
world?
my baby. He's been so angry at me because we have a stray in the house right now. And we keep her in our room to keep away from them. And you can see he's got like dry tears on his eye. He's been a little emo boy. And I find him sitting in the living room chair, just staring at me when I come out of the bedroom. Like, I'm sorry, buddy.
My friend, who is another DM/player that I play with, has a very similar situation. They found a tiny kitten under their car, no mother in sight, nothing going on, not chipped when they'd taken it to the vet. And after they made sure that it had actually eaten everything and whatnot, and it was eating solid food and didn't need immediate attention, they were like, well, I guess we have another kitten now. And it's
Why are you telling my life this week?
Yeah, this again, weird that it happened this week, because this was 3 weeks ago with my buddy Ducks, and yeah, they've called the little baby, which is a void kitty, they've called it Pepita, which is nugget, apparently, is what it means.
That's so cute. Everyone asks, should we name her yet? And I'm like, no, don't do it. We
Don't
need to
do
at least
it.
get her scanned. We've got like things posted about her. Nobody has said anything except somebody sent us a video of her crawling across their backyard fence. I was like, aw, she's doing gymnastics. But we'll give it to the beginning of next week because it's weird not having anything to call something.
I will say though, it makes me glad that this is going to end up sounding like such a southern thing. You'll get this, Sam. For you, Ed, and Drak, this will be mildly horrifying. But it makes me real glad that my buddy found the cat in September, because good lord, black cat in October. In the US, some neighborhoods are not very
Wait, what? Is that an actual thing?
Yeah, they legitimate.
Wow.
I wish I could joke, but legitimately there is still a thing where they think that the cats are witches, and act accordingly with such crazy belief. It's kind of
Yeah.
Wow. That's messed up.
It's a big thing in Louisiana because of our voodoo religion. That's
Yeah.
so it's like, haha, now I own 2 void cats, but I'm in California where they don't care, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Fuck.
Yeah. It's not great. It's real. Yeah, no. Anyway, I posted a picture of the tiny little one for you guys to see in the Stormforge chat, which is adorable.
She attack.
Yeah, I would post more, but it also includes all of my buddy's face, so I will refrain from doing that.
I will explain my picture after. Chat, I forgot I posted and then didn't say anything.
Yes, you didn't say anything. I was like, what?
I'll explain later.
Okay.
Resuming the scene of the new discovery of Thundara being infused into Kallisto's arm.
So, and I think at this point, if you're turning to Kallisto and Loluphia, now addressing them both, I'm not entirely sure what you did, how you did it, but you might need to hide that arm or come up with an excuse, an explanation for it if someone does see it, because that is, I'll be honest, quite a lot of Thundara, and the way you came about it is not possible. It shouldn't be possible. You created it, and that shouldn't be possible. But it is, clearly. I'm looking at it. It's right there on my son's left side. It's very much there. People will want that, or at the very least, the process of how it was done. And being the process being you, Loluphia, they will want you.
To be fair, I don't talk to many people anyway. So I'm not ever going to
Yes.
say it.
Okay. Well, Kallisto, wrap that thing up, please. Just bandages. You have use bandages. Just wrap it up, okay?
We can get a glove for it and just wear long sleeves.
Yes. No, that should be fine. I'll be honest, I didn't notice it was Thundara until you pointed it out, Mum. That explains why I could handle the heat.
This would be the first case of Thundara ever being found outside of the Thunderhead mines.
This much Thundara, so like an arm's worth, and I think Close is fairly beefy, so like a beefy arm's worth of Thundara, and I think it would also span, since it's his entire affliction, and span his part of his chest as well, and abdomen. But that much Thundara, that would be pretty pricey, right? Expensive.
Oh yeah, you're a walking commodity.
Okay. Oof. Okay. I think Kallisto will. I think now looking at his arm with a new level of surprise. Like beforehand, it was very much like my wife healed me. That's wild. To my wife healed me and did a thing that shouldn't be physically possible, which is create some.
My wife.
My wife. Damn, I pick great. I got a great wife.
At least she's hot.
So I've just looked through and I found it. You want to know something cool? I have a feat that can help with this. If you will allow. Ivar is going to walk up, and I should preface this. This is normally flavored very differently. But we'll say that instead of silk from certain animals, that this is something which is pulled out of strands of thought that then appears as a physical weave. Ivar starts to pull this from between his antennae, and it manifests and slowly starts to knit in his smaller hands. And he's dropped the Vox at this point, but you can see with his bigger hands, he starts sort of like sizing up your arm, as it's clear that there's this long glove that he is creating, as I go ahead and use my web weaver feat.
What is
Which-
that?
you can use your, we'll call this, we'll flavor this in psychic nonsense so that it's nothing related to all of that nonsense. But yeah, you can create a non-consumable threaded item such as clothing and rope at 0 cost, as long as the base price is one, all this other nonsense.
Oh, okay.
Hang on.
Thank you.
Yeah, I need to see how long this is going to take, actually.
You've created the Michael Jackson glove.
I
do think, at least because I do like aesthetics, he's more probably of a bandage person, so he made bandages that'd be better. I don't think he's a long glove kind of guy.
Okay.
One white long glove. It merges from Michael Jackson's glove to an NBA sleeve all the way.
He prefers to be mummied.
Yeah, it prefers to be mummied.
Immediately realizing that it's not quite for Kallisto, Kaivar starts to rework it and starts making a scarf of V.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, thank you. Yeah, no, that's more my style. And we'll take it and start to wrap it around his left arm up. As far as he can go, probably can't cover his abdomen, but he's wearing a shirt most times, so he should be fine in that aspect. And it's best to cover his palms and his fingers as well.
I mean, this essentially gives you a permanent bandage look. So, like, if you want to go for that straight, like, Moon Knight kind of look with it, to where it gives you this really cool partial bandage, because this would be almost indestructible woven material there. It would be perfect for this case. It wouldn't rip or tear, and you can make it look however you want it to look.
Okay, yeah, no, I'm down for that. Yeah, I think we partially up his arm and part of his torso that he wraps it around to hide the Thundara as much as possible, while still giving enough movement and leeway for him to move his arm and make any trick shots and careful shots that he needs to in combat. Yes.
I guess as all of this finishes up, because the small hands have been used in the creation of all this nonsense, Kaivar has not had the Vox, but like he's been picking up on all of your cues, and it's this very, it feels very servile of him in this moment, and it almost feels as though it comes to him quite naturally. Almost feels like a very natural function to you. One of those moments where, for a second, the closest thing that Kaivar has to instinct starts to sort of take over for a little bit, as the motion of spinning this thread out of thought comes to mind.
Kallisto gently pats Kaivar on the arm and says, "Thank you. I appreciate it. And see, this would probably do better than the bandages I had in store, so yes."
Well done, Kaivar.
Sort of looks around approvingly and tries to respond, and then realizes there's nothing in his hands, and he's like, oh.
I'd say Lolly would have seen that and picked it up for you. And as soon as you turned around and saw her, she would hold it out to you. I think you need this. But also thank you.
Pulls the Vox back immediately and just like twists a few dials and knobs. Kallisto, is this one Kaivar help? Yes? No?
Yes. No, yes, this was a huge help.
Need more thread?
No, I think it's all good. This is more than enough. Thank you.
Yes. Good.
Have you eaten?
We'll say yes. There's like crumbs of zucchini bread that have been sort of like.
Okay.
It's clearly.
Can I
leftovers.
say that I, with that not good perception check, instead of smelling good biscuits, suddenly Lolly smells burnt.
No. No, I'm not letting you burn these. I'm gonna roll a perception check against you.
Please.
Threaten our players.
We want good
we will
ones. You've been
ensure-
waiting for these.
I think V is very
I rolled so
aware as
low.
well, so I'll roll
No.
for V.
No,
I'll roll for V.
it.
V's the baker.
Wait, you still got better than me. That counts,
Why
right?
doesn't this happen when we're in combat against scary monsters?
Because I would
could
be
have-
dead if I rolled this against monsters.
No, not Farouk.
Farouk. Oh God!
V is on it. V is on it. V doesn't need a timer for their
Thank
cooking.
goodness.
They just know when things are ready. So I think you all smell the smell of fresh zucchini bread.
Oh.
And V,
Thank God.
while all of this is going down, V's dipped into the kitchen and is back out again with plenty of zucchini bread to go around.
Farouk's got his warm icing from over the pan. He's over there just piping onto this giant tray of oversized cinnamon rolls.
Here you go. I'll be entirely honest. I heard some of what Ifrit was saying. I don't fully understand the extent of it. I know that the ore is rare, and I definitely agree with Ifrit that we maybe should keep it on the down low. But just stay safe, okay? I need to get to work, so I'm gonna eat up, and they'll set down the tray of zucchini bread.
Speaking of keeping things on the down low, the two of you went to your warden house yesterday.
Well, he's got a mouthful of zucchini muffin.
Kallisto's about to put some zucchini bread in the mouth, but then stop as he asks this question. And they lean back in their chair and nod. I think not looking at Myshkin, but they nod and say, yes, we gave a report to the warden house. A little bit, we skimmed on the details of it, made it more explicitly that Loluphia and I were there, not to get any of you all wrapped up in that, especially because Chrissy's and their endeavor and their feat was very visible. Some city guard came to ask about that, but we were able to diffuse that situation for the most part, but I wouldn't be
His
surprised
name
if there are
was
others looking
Owen?
into it.
I believe.
Yes,
Commander.
I think so.
Yeah.
So
Never
they
met him.
have no intentions with the disabled craft.
I imagine-
believe they have some interest, but we were told yesterday that, or today, I don't know what time it is,
It was
Before we
today,
slept.
Before we slept, yes.
that they are not going to investigate further. But that's because I think someone got a nat 20 or he got a nat 1. Can't remember.
You got on that one.
You got that one?
However,
Yeah.
I do think that we should investigate it.
I was about
Yeah.
to say, I do not believe our work there is done.
No, but I will say that there will likely be people stationed outside of it. It is still a crash site, or at the very least, a unmandated landing. So there will be people around keeping people out until they're able to get it back in the sky. So there might be a thing we need to keep an eye out for.
Very well. Myshkin just starts to eat minimally, breaking off a tiny little bit of the bread and making do with that and some water.
Farouk and Kaiva, would you happen to know how Chrissy is doing?
I sent Farouk after her. I think that she went for a ride with Lily.
Okay. Would you both like to join us?
In?
We're
Oh,
gonna go and go to the same place that we just left yesterday.
If you go, this one, Kava will follow. Yes, yes.
I will send a message. He's going to make his way outside and look up towards the stars for a little bit. Before you see him come back in. If she's awake, you'll know where we are.
Sounds
But
good.
I do want to lay down some ground rules, since you'll be working with us in a more official capacity. We are going to be upfront about everything we know. And that means you, Myshkin, you will have to give us exactly what went down yesterday, why it went down, and anything else we need to know when it comes to dealing with this group. Secondly, we're going to give some information to the wardens. Not much, not too much to get them in trouble, not too much to get you in trouble, but enough for them to help us. Because as incredible of a feat as we accomplished yesterday was, if the Silent Gear is anything like the legends, the myths, we're going to need more people to handle what they may throw at us. So I will be calling on Kilthud, of course, but any other friends we have within the Wardens.
Yeah. I agree.
Finally, we are going to be helping you as Wardens, as best as we can as Wardens, but also as Loluphia and Kallisto. So please just be upfront.
Well, he looks at
with us.
Myshkin when you say that, because it was a question she asked him.
Just be upfront with us, and we'll do what we can to help.
Of course.
Understood.
I suppose the final point is listen to what we have to say. We've been doing this kind of work for a long time. We do have some experience.
Of course.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Well, then everybody finish up so we can do what we need to do. Together.
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 Yes, yes.
Yes.
And not on an empty stomach.
Yes, eat up. I think I'm actually going to get some cereal.
Myshkin just stares at the center of the table a little bit, playing with his food before eating up, getting noticeably quiet. Well, thank you for your hospitality. V and Ifrit. It means a lot.
Of course. A friend of our kids or a friend of ours.
Lolly's gonna lean into Kallisto. I love that they still call me their kid too. So cute.
You're pretty much part of the family. I'll be honest, I'm pretty sure I like you a bit more than like me.
Darling.
Yeah, no. And you can't blame them. Ifrit and V say, no, of course. If you want to take any food to go, please do. I know, actually, V, you need to get going. You're going to be late for work. And V's like, yes, work. And quickly packs some zucchini bread as well as some sandwiches and stuff, and hurries out to head to the library.
I love that this family's so similar. Ziva's doing the same thing.
Yeah. And Ifrit will officially open up the shop as people start milling in and out for wares.
So, Kaivar, what if I were to tell you that there was a thing like a cheeseburger, but it's not. It's where they mince all the meat and cheese together and then put it in a long loaf. Lettuce, tomato, mayonnaise. It's kind of like a cheeseburger in paradise meets Sloppy Joe.
I lost connection entirely. I was gonna roll Bardic lore at disadvantage because it's food.
They
I thought you
call
were
it
describing Hamburger Helper for a minute.
They call it a
Same.
chopped cheese. I mean, it pretty well is the hamburger helper of bodega food.
Just gotta add pasta.
They're so good.
Ivar has never heard of this. He thinks you're talking about a
Philly cheese steak.
We can
Yes.
get one of
No.
those too. I know a spot
Oh.
on the way to where they set the old factory down in the sky.
Oh, yes.
No wasted steps.
Lolly is cleaning up any leftover dishes.
It's gonna have so much food lore
as
by the
people
end of
are
this.
preparing to leave.
I think Kallisto would sidle up next to Loluphia to help. We're in for quite a bit if this is really the silent gear and if it's as deep as it seems like it's going to be.
I think it's gonna get bad. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
But we're not alone, and we're going to tell the warden, so we'll always have that in our pocket.
Yes, but
And you've got a really sexy arm now. Just saying.
I thought I already had a sexy arm. I thought I just have two now.
Yeah, but it's been not as, my favorite the past few weeks. But now, it's kind of nice.
Yeah.
And she elbows yours with her.
Yeah. You elbow rock as you kind of elbow thud against it.
That kind of hurt.
Yes, no, I'm honestly getting used to not being fully, flesh. It moves like it is, but it's still quite sturdy.
Yeah, I do wish I had had more control over its entirety, but I think I did pretty good. She says now, scrubbing the last of the dishes and just wringing out a rag and placing it in a nice folded little spot over the sink. I'm turning around and looking at everybody. All right, are we all ready? Are you done eating? You're slower than Ziba.
I am ready. And Myshkin stands and just goes over to stand by the front door and pulls the brown cloak around himself.
It's a
Ivar,
weird
Farouk.
sight. Ivar's mouth is still full of zucchini bread, and you expect a muffled "ruff, ruff," but it comes out through the vox, and he's not eating through the vox, so you just hear yes, as normal. As he's just full on chewing.
I don't know why we've never experienced it before. That's very creepy.
Yeah, no, it's kind of like a disconnect that you just don't realize until it's very apparent. Yeah.
So,
Well, while you wrap up, she's gonna quickly run upstairs and notice that her cloak is as put together as it could be. And initially she was going just to grab something else, and she saw that and she's like, oh, that's very kind. And she pulls it around her and coming down the stairs with it billowing.
And yeah, I think with his long rifle and pistols holstered and strapped to his back, he will head out with the rest of the group, tightening the scarf around his arm to make sure it doesn't come loose at any point.
this has been a 6-hour rest.
Oh, yeah.
So you may
Good thing Molly
apply.
only needs half.
As you guys walk out the front door, your microphone's being a menace tonight, Sam.
Why, dear Jesus and Christ? Discord's fighting me today.
Do you run off speakers when you do that? Is that what you do?
Yeah, no, it keeps coming off of push to talk.
Oh,
Get you some earbuds, yo.
I can't. I get ear infections.
Oh, that
that's okay.
sucks.
you need
And
to
they
get.
hurt.
What was that thing? I think you're sponsored by them at some point, Sam.
Yeah,
What
the
was
Sound
that?
Slayer.
Yeah.
I have it, but I'm over it.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
I don't want to put them on my shoulders if I don't have to.
We're getting
Oh,
paid
we got
for it.
we got to get this fixed. Let me tell you what, we got to get this fixed.
Oh, don't you worry.
Yeah, we can still totally hear it.
For you said a 6 hours rest. Do we get what, full health?
Yes,
Or...
yeah, you guys get everything back.
Cool.
Yeah.
As the party begins to make their way towards the flying factory. Oh, right over here, Kaifar. This is this. And as Farouk is about to turn to this side shop, you guys look up and can hear the sound as you can see it rise in the distance.
Shit.
Oh no.
Molly's gonna look at Kallisto. Have they told the wardens yet? Or was it only Owen?
I think we told the wardens. We did a we.
We
I
like
don't think we told
mentioned,
anyone
but
yeah, I don't think we told anyone in person. I imagine it was like a written report kind of thing. Because especially considering we did only were 30 minutes behind everyone, I imagine it wasn't like a meeting or like a written report that we gave the wardens.
We're too late.
Yes. Okay, well.
can we tell
Nice.
who's flying it?
No clue.
Can we tell where it is going?
Literally just taking off the ground now and ascending.
How many feet off the ground is it?
Let's say 120.
Myshkin is going to duck into a nearby alley, and as you have seen him before, out of his satchel he brings out bones, and he bites into his hand, which, as you can, or bites into his wrist rather, and as blood is dripped down onto the bones of this creature, you see a slight metallic sheen, which Myshkin also notices and just steadies himself as the bird skeleton just comes to unlife, and Myshkin immediately just nods in the direction of the recycling plant, and it flies off and will hopefully perch on the recycling plant's top as it flies away.
Hear an invasive voice in your mind. You see that Kaivar is clearly agitated because he's had to make this decision on the fly.
This one, Kaivar is sorry for the interruption, yes, but I can go there and take one of us if we need. Yes?
It is 120 feet off the ground. Dimension Door's range is 120 feet.
But
I was
you're
going to say
further than
Molly's
us.
flying.
It's 120 feet off the ground. You guys are also miles away from it.
Oh,
Laterally.
okay,
Yeah,
sorry.
we've seen
I
it from
thought
a
we were
distance.
there. Oh my gosh, sorry. I was- Super teleport. I'm so sorry. My apologies. I did.
It's okay.
Good.
I was really interested to see what you were going to come up with.
Ah, I was like, damn, that perfect number and everything. But no, okay.
I can fly.
And I'm getting better at it.
I thought we said we
we've
were
put
going to
fuel in
stick
it.
together.
We fueled up. It's fine.
Yeah, we'll go after the same thing. I wouldn't get too close. And we've got
The rest of
Myshkin.
us,
I.
the rest of us can follow on the ground if need be.
What
Because I
are
can
we going to
get to
gather from
Kallisto.
this thing when it's operational again? Those arcane cannons aren't going to go away.
Good point.
We just need to find out who is controlling it.
Let's go to the site and find out. There may still be information that we can gather.
A good point.
That red tape's
That
not going to
can-
go away anytime soon. See what you can get as wardens.
Yeah, we have a lot more power down here than we do up in there.
Let's be honest. Someone's going to have to sign off on that thing. We need to get names. Real people. Not just dicking around with these constructs that are up there. It almost killed us the first time. You know who owns that? The silent gear exists like we all think it does. It has to hide behind things. We need to start that trail. The only way that the silent gear can be held accountable is we can actually tie people to it.
No, you're right. That's a good idea. Once we have names and maybe even faces, then we can more directly investigate what's going on here. We can flash our names as wardens and get as much information as we can that way. And if we come across any walls, we'll go about it a different way.
Sounds like a plan.
And let's get going.
The party takes off and head towards, can't say a crash site, the landing site. That is where we will pick up with the full group as you guys go to investigate what's left.
Yes.
We won't
stoked
be a
for
full
this.
group.
Oh yeah, Sam is
I'm
going to
not
be here
here
next
next
week.
No, I said the next time we
yeah.
play. I don't know when that's going to be. Because
okay.
right after that's TwitchCon.
Oh, yeah.
So it'd be a
Oh yeah, is your flight during that?
2-week hiatus. No, we're fine. No, 18th I'm fine. I leave on the 19th, but you leave on Wednesday, don't you?
Yeah, I'm gonna book my flight for after this.
Because it's the cool things that you can do. Yes. No, then
Literally driving home from Louisiana to make it for production of Eden Falls. A day earlier.
Well, then we
You
will
are
pick up
wild.
there.
She's got
on
dedication.
The 18th. then.
Yeah. Sounds good. I'm so excited. I'm stoked for us to show off why we're wardens. I think that's
I
what I'm
know.
excited for.
I'm ready
Like,
for this.
We've seen like really cool magical feats, but I'm very excited for us to be like, yeah, you can do all this magic, but we're actually pretty skilled wardens.
You guys
so I'm
flash the
stoked for that.
badge, like you get across the tape, and then there's
No, it didn't work one time for me.
Wait, when? Oh yeah, that one.
Well, he's not
yeah.
gonna want to even try.
But that was with you technically did with a literal silent gear.
Should've
Yeah.
been with
I don't give a
anything.
shit.
This would be Kaivar, Myshkin, and myself. Can we cross the line too? We've been deputized. Excuse me, sir.
Deputized.
I have authority here with my
You just
snack
say
bag.
that Kaivar is. You could say that Kaivar is basically the Stormforge alien equivalent of like a sniffer dog. Does he do? He sniffs out. I don't know what he sniffs, but he sniffs out crime, okay?
The carapace is with us.
Something about psychic echoes. It's real freaky deaky shit. You don't question it.
Oh, I remember my first exotic insect that I imported too, Daniel.
Oh, God.
Look at this one.
Kyvar in the back. You see Kyvar in the background just doing the stick bug.
Oh my god!
We need someone to make that. Oh my god.
That's your Carlock dance. Everyone needs a Carlock dance. Yours is the stick bug.
Honestly,
Turn.
I think Kallisto's Carlac dance would honestly be very similar to just Carlac's dance. I feel like they
It's
give,
so good.
when they're both in a good mood, I feel like they give very similar vibes.
Absolutely.
And hey, now you no longer have a hellish piece of engineering or very hot thing on/in your body.
Oh.
So that's great.
Yeah, Kyber, RoBear, and I were, I think I was connected Kyber and RoBear together. RoBear and I had been talking about doing that. But the idea we had was very different as to how I got that ability. It was
Yes.
so different.
Hey,
And that
Carlolly.
20 came in clutch. Yeah.
She's branded you. You're mine.
I mean, Kallisto's been whipped from day one. You didn't need to brand him.
And it came around so well because Sam messaged me halfway through it and goes, hey, what if we just like completely turn this into Thundera too? And I'm like, okay, this is getting even better, like how we originally thought it, where it was going to be something biomechanical. Now we have this situation where it's bioengineered between its rarest forms. We have your ancestry going on. We have this divination of ore for the first time. And for you to have Ifrit in the scene right there to actually give it context, for the rest of us, it would have been like, what?
In that 20.
Yeah.
That was so good.
That worked out perfect story-wise.
Yeah, and it
Ifrit-
ties Lolly and
Ifrit-
Kallisto together in an
Yeah. Playing Ifrit and being Ziva have been way more instrumental than I had anticipated when I wrote them into my backstory. I played them way more than I thought I'd ever play them.
You didn't know we were going to turn that into the house kitchen, let alone would turn into the
truly did not.
main base. You're like, okay, at any point given time when we're home, I have 4 other characters. You guys have done it excellent.
The Ziva reigns to Sam because you play Ziva so goddamn well. I love Ziva.
I love
with my
him.
heart.
We love you
him so
guys
much.
playing as a family. Like, I hope you guys never
Yeah.
feel too overburdened when we're all
Oh,
just
no.
like, we're just enjoying your cottage core RP of like putting affairs together. It makes it so real though. Like,
Yeah.
it really does.
No, thanks.
Because I definitely went into it. I don't know about Sam, but I definitely went into it like I really want to have the, because I'm always playing adventurers who don't have families. You know, like it's always like they lost their family in an adventure, or they just never get mentioned. So never it's a big thing. with
Yeah.
them. But with Kallisto, I was like, I really want him to be like a family person. I want to be able to navigate what it's like to be someone who's doing like dangerous, life-threatening work, but also have like a family that he loves dearly, that he's doing the work for.
And
on their own as
how
well.
different would our interactions be if we didn't have the centering compass of your parents there that, you know, could care less about your indifferences out on the job place or whatever you drug back home from work. Like, they're like, oh, just get over it. And like, oh, I'm stuck with these people whether I want to or not.
So I've got to point this out too. With a character like this, it would be unbelievably easy to sit there and have the focus be on a lot of the traumatic stuff that's happened in Kallisto's past. But it is remarkably talented of you to sit there and make it so that the emphasis of the character is and has consistently been just family itself, you know, and not in a sense of, you know, the heroes join the family, which is, you know, pretty common when it comes to D&D stuff. Like, actually like a really cohesive family unit that is strong together and shares all of their differences, and it only makes them better. It's a really beautiful thing, and it needs to be done with nuance and tact and grace, and you've absolutely nailed it. Like, Drak, I'd say that because you're voicing two characters, but like you too, Sam, it's really, I cannot imagine how tough that is. Because like, that is the defining pillar.
That's just all my personalities in one.
I just get to be the lazy GM, dude. Nice. Just get to be a lazy GM. Sit back here.
Truly,
let you guys go at it.
When I wrote Ifrit and V, because like a lot of the time, whenever I had like backstory characters, the GM plays them. So like I fully writ it being like, oh, RoBear will play these characters, and I remember RoBear being like, yeah, go on, play them. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, go for it. You know them better than I do.
But I definitely was nervous at first, but like I know I absolutely love it. And like building Kallisto, I think the biggest thing, I think I mentioned this before, but I very recently, semi-recently, like maybe 2 years ago, I'm making characters who, when I play explicitly black characters, I very much try to make sure to go against the stereotypes they have a lot of the time. And it's usually like the biggest one is usually a broken family. So going into this, I very much was like, Kallisto's not going to have that. Like, he's going to have a wonderful family. I even hit up Sam, was like, yeah, you're going to be Ziva's stepmom, but Ziva's going to see her as a mom. Like, there's not going to be any like, I'll miss my real mom, nothing like that. As far as he's concerned, you are his real mom. Because that was like just a thing I really wanted to make sure was a part of Kallisto's story as a black character.
It's very important.
Here.
Yeah.
You do it justice, man. You do it.
Thank you.
Incredible justice.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for more. Always am after the end of Wednesday, though. And this just came in right at the very end of the episode. So, feast your eyes on the old gods of Tormund Quest.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yes.
I love it so much.
Oh my goodness.
He did so good with the Dragonborns. I'm very, very proud.
Dragonborns, it's really good. Like, it's really hard to find artists that can do a Dragonborn justice. This is really, really good.
The one on the right is incredible.
The full-on monk armor. Oh, it's so good. Mm-hmm. And he did the transition of the colors. Well, what we have to thank for giving a good like intro palette is we snap pictures from Baldur's Gate, and we're like, hey,
I thought you did.
Yeah,
here you can. Here's
the way to go
to show them the feature, because otherwise it's like, whoa, where do I start? So it's like, give a reference feature on what you want this Dragonborn to look like, and killed it.
Baldur's Gate I guarantee Baldur's Gate has made so many artists' lives easier. Because people just be like, I want to make my character in Baldur's Gate and send straight up reference pictures, like in every pose, every angle we want.
Here's a 360 degree
that's what we did. It's like, pick your angle, baby.
Like, I'm playing in a campaign. I was like, there was some earrings I really liked in Baldur's Gate, so I boosted up Baldur's Gate and just screenshot the earrings. Just like, these are the earrings I like, these specifically.
Yes.
No, artists are probably getting more work because of Baldur's Gate, because people are like, I want to get my OC commissions, but also these commissions probably becoming way easier now with the references that they can actually put on.
100%. Well, we'll all be on hiatus for 1 week, but we will see you before TwitchCon on the 18th.
Yeah.
Love you all. We'll see you then.
Bye.